How do? How are we all? Welcome. Ernest Gaming, Golden Triangles, Spurious ECG, Flan, hello Flan, Mini Flames, VMX, welcome, and everyone else who is out there in chat. Welcome to part 2. Apologies for the week's absence. We were driving back from Essex from a family funeral, and the traffic was shit. It was just really shit.
I wonder who. It was JR.
Ernest Gaming, thank you very much for the 100 little biddies there. Much appreciated. So we just got back 10 minutes after the stream should have started, and we got nothing set up. So apologies for that. So we are doing part 2 now. It's not a JRDF stream that's your favourite derailer. Indeed, Heavy Bob. And you are indeed our favourite troll. It's get you a t-shirt with it on.
What's weird?
What's weird?
We set up this whole thing for your co-host to be able to hear alerts, right?
And he didn't hear it.
They didn't hear it.
Ah, god damn it.
Oh, I'll just have to pay attention to.
There must be a way of putting it into Discord, into our Discord chat somehow.
There is.
We'll work.
You just need more money.
Just need more money. You need more money to do it, or I need more money to pay someone else to do it, or I need no more money. Who do I need to give money to, Daj?
Well, the easiest way, I can think of doing it is with the GoXLR, which has a very good interface for doing that sort of thing.
Right.
So you have your browser on, because it creates 4 devices, audio devices.
Right, okay,
then you can have your microphone
as
a mix of several of them.
Got you.
But there's ways to do it with digital cables or virtual cables. I think.
I see. So I use virtual cables for a lot of stuff. I don't want to. I used to have Potato on here. It just drives me nuts having that on all the time. I could go back to it now that I'm single PC streaming. I kind of went away from it because I didn't need it when I was. There was a really simple way of doing it when I was dual PC streaming because I could have 2 Discord windows. So we're one on each computer. But anyway, we will sort that out because it is kind of helpful for the co-host so they're not talking over the alerts. Obviously, I hear the alerts, so I stop talking. But yeah. So it'd be good to sort of have that. Welcome to everybody. Few things to get through before we crack on with the Carrack build. Daj, who is sitting underneath me, is now in charge of our newsletter and making it be a thing that happens on a regular-ish basis. Daj likes to do things fortnightly, as you know. Famous for it. So currently, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I know fuck all about this now, which is great. It's a surprise to me when these newsletters come out now. It is currently fortnightly. It sounds bizarre. I've been in this room twice this week. I've been down at the shop. It's been amazing. We've got a bit of a shop update as well. Next week will be from the shop, which is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to having you guys back in there. The router arrived yesterday. We have proper internet down there now, with unlimited download. So it's obviously
not the CNC router.
No. I've bought 2 new routers. Since I last spoke to you, but no, as in internet router, I've all the routers and routers. So proper 4G one with an unlimited SIM in it, so we don't need to worry about that. It also means that I can have security cameras and all that kind of fun stuff down there. So that's nice. Yes, mailing router on network router. See, this is interesting. So I call a cutting one a router, and an internet one a router. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm aware they're spelt the same, but I would count an internet one a router, and a wood one a router.
I think you're correct, because the word router does not mean path, it means rut. uses the same root form as the word rut, which is like a divot, whatever,
yes,
like a hole.
Which makes sense for something cutting a divot.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, no. So I know I'm that's an Englishing thing that I've done, which is a rarity. I no longer have to. I'm no longer the person with the highest English qualification in the family. Leah has now superseded me. So that's good, because it was rubbish being, the go-to person for Englishing. Which no one ever did anyway, so that's fine. So yes.
Spurs, do you mean either or either?
Let's not go into how people pronounce things. We've got lots of Americans, and I live in Scotland, so between those two places, there's no pronunciations.
And I'm not even a native speaker.
Yes, exactly, and Darsh speaks better English than all of us. So there you go. So we have a newsletter. This is a newsletter. If you've not seen the newsletter, this is the newsletter. If you're not signed up to the newsletter, why the hell aren't you signed up to our newsletter? God damn it, go sign up to it.
Yeah, and you can go to jrfabrication.co.uk/newsletter to sign up.
There you go.
I shall put that into chat.
There is also another thing. If you have signed up for the newsletter but don't get a newsletter, there's a potential issue there. If you have ticked when you set your account up that you don't want to receive marketing emails, that overrides your request for a newsletter. So, which is really stupid. Even though you've signed up for a newsletter, because you've ticked that box, we can't send you anything. So you might have to go into your settings and untick that. Hey, JR, any news for the Pisces? Oh, yes. My poor character still not open yet. No. Well, yes and no.
Still in the box.
Still in the box. The Pisces it will be the next kit to come out. And yeah, I will address the kit model issue for this year when we do our workshop update, because it makes it clearer what the issue with kit models is at the moment. So if you haven't got the newsletter, sign up. We will just quickly run through, show you what the goodies that are in it. It's not spam. I hope people find it really informative. It's genuinely just kind of another way of keeping updated onto what we're doing. So if there's new things happening in the Discord, or things that we've got on events, anything like that, we will be sort of keeping you up to date with all that kind of stuff. If we've got any new videos that we've come out, obviously we just had the new Carrack commercial, which you saw at the beginning of the stream, which is awesome. We got that done just in the nick of time for the demo rally. We have the build along part 2. You are currently experiencing that. I mean, we haven't started building anything yet, but this is what's happening. This is, exactly, so meta. And going back in time, that's part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1, don't go and watch it now, because it's 3 hours long and you'll miss doing this live, and that would be silly. And yes, and our community focus, Lydia Ernest's little freelancer diorama is in there, and some links to buy things from us, because we sell stuff. I'm really keen to get the sort of community highlight stuff in, because you guys are doing such amazing stuff now, and it'll be great to sort of highlight as many as we can. And if you have done something and you've posted it on the RSI Spectrum stuff, please send us a link to that as well. Make sure there's a link in that Discord, so we can send people in our newsletter towards it to upvote it and all that kind of good stuff. Same with Twitter and stuff like that. We'll try and use the newsletter to feed into to getting your hits and stuff up, which is obviously what we want as well. So that's that. What else? Oh yes, workshop update. Let's hit some buttons. So, what's happened since you guys last saw the workshop? You guys haven't seen the workshop in ages, just because we've been doing stuff here and there's been nothing really happening in the workshop. So, those of you who have watched Discord will know what came out this truck. It is indeed a forklift, because we really need a forklift, because we've got a lot of materials for this job, and I'm getting to the point in my life where I don't want to handball 4 ton of wood, and the people who deliver it don't want to wait for me to handball 4 ton of wood. So a forklift is very much a necessity. That is it in the workshop a few weeks ago. She's lovely. She can lift 3 ton, and very high as well. So that's as high as I could get it without touching the roof. It can go higher. It's got a 5.5 meter lift on it. This is a restored. As Fan said, this is a rebuild. I know the spoon lift. I don't know. I suppose it's got prongs on the front.
Operation Pitchfork.
Yes, and yeah, it's been great. It's the only issue I've had with it has been it took me like a week to get a gas can for it because Calla won't sell me one. But that isn't a forklift issue; that's a gas issue. And so you'll kind of see in the background there. The amount of wood we bought. Some of the wood we bought. That's just some of it. We bought 10.2 ton of wood. So 50 sheets of 18 mil, 150 sheets of 12 mil wood, and 150 sheets of 6 mil wood. Which hopefully this brings us back to the kit model issue. That gives you some idea of the job we are doing at the moment. The job we've got, yes, Flan, it is propane. The job we have at the moment requires that quantity of timber. It's very exciting. It's very cool, and it's an absolute beast of a job. It is months and months and months of work, and it will unfortunately detract quite significantly from the kit models because it needs to get done, and there's only so many of us. Now, specifically on the Pisces, I was talking to Kals about the Pisces the other day, and although Daj doesn't know it, the Pisces will pretty much entirely get handed over to him at this point because we're at that stage where the Pisces is done. It has been signed off by JC as a model. It needs its instructions done, and what I want to do, I want to try and hand over to Daj being able to extract the images from 3D Coat so he can actually set up the steps himself and stuff like that, because that's something I currently do, and there's no reason why Daj can't do it. So we are just...
Other than not knowing how it's put together, that's the only thing.
Yes, so we can get through that in a meeting, I think, and just sort of decide the order sort of thing. And then you have a bit more free reign on how you want each shot positioned and all that kind of stuff. So that's all the Pisces needs. Instructions, it needs box artwork, everything needs reprinting. Because...
That I can't do.
That you can't do. That we can do. Since we did the Pisces, which is well over a year ago, 18 months ago now, I think. A couple of new resins have come out that I want to try. So we did it before Tough 2000 was a thing, so there will be a certain number of parts that will be going over to Tough 2000. It was the first model we did in model resin. This stuff.
I'm guessing the landing gear is going to be tough.
Yes, the landing gear will be tough,
and the guns,
and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is that there's a new model resin now that we want to try because we might want to use a new model resin on the Pisces because it has speed advantages. As far as I know, it's the same quality of finish and all the rest of it. That's what we'll be testing to check that there's no degradation in quality, even though it's faster printing. Faster printing just means that we don't need to buy it. We don't need to invest in any more printers to increase our capacity because it prints a certain percent faster. So that's why it's just a new version of this resin basically, but it's a slightly different color. So that's something we can do. That doesn't really take a lot of my time though. I just set them to print, and then box art. And yeah,
will there be magnets?
There are magnets, yes.
Okay.
30, I think.
Oh, it is an Anvil ship, so definitely magnets.
Yes. Yes, because the wings, there's different wing positions, there's landing gears, there's all the magnets. Anvil ships love magnets. It's a thing. It's a thing.
And I'm guessing since it's such a big ratio of interior to exterior, the rear is gonna open and you can see inside everything model.
Yes. So, well, the cool thing with the Pisces, if Kals is listening, she could bring me a Pisces. She'd be amazing like that. I should message her because she probably isn't actually listening. Oh, she is. Oh, excellent. If you could, my dearest darling, that would be amazing. There is so much interior in the Pisces. We did something even better than just having the back door open. Oh, she's comfy on the sofa. God damn it. With cats and, fine. I shall go and get my own Pisces. Yeah, it's awesome.
It'd be hilarious if she was actually eating fish at the moment as well. Because she has her own Pisces to contend herself with.
Mm-hmm. So it will be coming, and yeah. So thankfully, that's a little bit out of my hands from a point of view of it can get over the line without a lot of me, which is what we're sort of short of a bit at the moment. So this is a table saw bench that I built this week. I love it. It's awesome. It is the same saw that I had before, so it's the Start Right saw, the old saw. But we've built it into a much bigger bench. And this is another one of my routers that I've bought in the bottom. That's a table router. From Rutland's, which is lovely. So it's built into the same bench. The only thing I'm missing is a little bit of T-track just in front of the table router that's on its way. There was just not a lot of stock when I first bought it. And yeah, new fences for both of them. And yes, it makes such a difference to that table saw. Having a proper fence on it. It was so awful with its old fence. And it's just so accurate. Oh, I hear a Callie because she's amazing. Hello. Oh, okay. 1 second. Oh, I'm kicking my camera. One moment.
Bringing stream quality ahead of her own comfort.
Indeed.
So yeah, I actually have not seen the Pisces yet, so this will be a revelation for me as well. Ooh, it's a painted one as well. Ooh.
Oh, where's my camera gone? Wait a minute. I've pulled a cable out when I stood up. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, there we are. All good. There's an extension on the floor. I was
wondering what happened with that. It was like was this something you were not allowed to show us? Like we're not wearing pants. Is that why you
my own stupidity? That's what. But you always see that all the time. Yeah, that was just me pulling a fucking cable out. So this is the Pisces. One of the Pisces. And there's so much inside into this that the entire lid comes off so that you can see the inside. If I go to the other camera, you can see the interior. So the cool thing with the Pisces is there's so many little toys and stuff that go in it. So there's little cargo crates with ammo and stuff. There's little piles of
It's a transformer.
Little piles of boxes and stuff to go in it. There's people. Helps if they're on camera. There's little people stacking boxes and stuff. There's a lot of dioramoring going on.
That is a bad posture.
Yeah.
Lift with your knees, man, not with your back.
Yes, it's terrible. So yeah, there's quite a lot of little dioramory things, which is super cool. There's more crates. There's loads of crates. There's the little pilot seat, which I love.
That is not in shot. There we go.
With its little joysticks and things, and that spins round, so you can actually. It's on a little peg, so you can spin it round. And
right around.
Yeah, right round, baby, right round. Don't drop it, John. Go on the peg. And then obviously, as per usual, on the underneath, the detail. I love the detail on the underneath of the Pisces. It's ridiculous. Obviously, all the landing gear come out, and obviously all on magnets. So that's cool. It's the first ship I've done with 4 landing gear. 4 landing gear in Star Citizen is quite rare. Even
There's
the Hammerhead
3.
has 3. The Caterpillar has 4. Well, no, Caterpillar has a million.
Caterpillar has a million, yeah. So there's 3 or a million.
Yeah, it is 3 or a million. Very few have 4. So the cool things that the wings do is, the issue we had with the wings is that obviously there's flight and landed. Because this is so small, this little join here, where it flips up, we couldn't get. We couldn't make this work with magnets and stuff, so the whole wing comes off like this. So there's obviously 2 sets of these that again click in on magnets and sit in there. So we've tried to use the natural break points in the model to get. Yeah,
that's completely invisible. I had no idea the breakpoint was there.
Because it's a natural panel line.
How big would the model have to be to actually do hinged wings?
Oh, big. I mean, we might probably smaller than it used to be because of the tough resin. I've not really started to do mechanical parts. So the interesting thing is, why didn't we release this model? Obviously, we got it way down the line of it being kind of ready, and the answer to that question is this. Because this is shit. So this is the canopy. Obviously, it's a very big canopy on the Pisces, and we wanted it to look a downside better than this. And we went down the route of casting it and all that kind of shit, and we tried to find we had a couple of companies that said they were going to do it, and then they let us down, and then it never got done. And that was always the blocker for this model, was that canopy, because we wanted, when you look at it like this, to be able to see the pilot inside. There are pilots that go in the seats. I think there's about 7 people, and that's the interesting thing. Obviously, you have the C8 and the C8X. The big difference between the two, other than the C8 has another gun mount under the wings, is that all the diorama pieces are different. So the C8, we went with a very much a more military thing. So there's ammo crates and soldiers with guns and all that kind of stuff. With the C8X, it's more exploration. So it's more explorers and different types of cargo and stuff. And so there's about 7 people per kit, and the people in the C8 are different to the people in the C8X. All the cargo's different, and there's extra guns on the C8X. So there is a decent amount of difference between the two.
But it being a tiny ship, you can only tell now that it is actually quite big, comparing it to the little tiny guy next to it.
But this is the thing with all Star Citizen ships. Star Citizen ships are huge. Like, they're all huge.
That's a truck.
Yeah. Oh, they're absolutely massive. So it's cool. So we will definitely be doing these as soon as we can, because it doesn't involve a lot of me, which is advantageous. And I really like this model. It was one of my favorite models when I did it, just because it had so much interior and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was the first ship that I did a proper interior to. I know obviously I did the freelancers where you could see the cargo bay a bit and the cockpit a bit, but this is everything is modeled in it.
Speaking of, does the rear ramp also open?
Yes, I don't have it's currently not in, but yes, it has a close and open ramp with its little things.
Great.
So yeah, everything is there. I don't think we've missed anything off this model. So the other issue we had with this model, the other blocker, and you'll be able to see print lines here.
Yeah, it was also noticeable on the underside as well.
Yeah, so this is one of our other big blocks. I think they're more obvious on the top. So these print lines were just too egregious for words. The issue we had with these is that this was printed on a Form 2 printer. So these was before we had Form 3 printers. And this was a thing we used to suffer from with the Arrow a little bit, in that when the resin wasn't really, really, really full, it would keep checking its levels. And every time it checked its level, you'd end up with one of these print lines. And we had a lot of rejects with the Arrow with this, it just couldn't cope with it at all, because this part is so heavy, and we got like 7 on a print. It was always doing it. So unless we printed like 1 at a time, which isn't doable for production, we ended up with these horrid print lines. And that is one of the things that the Form 3 has fixed, because in the same way, the Carrack would be the same. If we didn't have the 3s, we couldn't do the Carrack that big, just because of that print line issue. So having the 3s, and I say with the canopy, in the same way that we fixed the Arrows canopy, we now have, with a combination of new coatings and the new Form 3 printers, we can now do clear prints.
I was gonna break open my box to show the quality of the Carrack, but I think it's a bit easy if you just grab the one on your desk to show off that. Like,
this one,
no, I meant the model resin quality of the print.
Oh yes, yeah. The difference in the model resin on this new printer is great. You don't get the same print lines on it. They are really, really nice. And yeah, it makes all the difference. And it's the Form 3 printer was 5 years after the Form 2, so that's 5 years of development on that printer. So yeah, there's gonna be differences. Will be differences. Right, we ought to just quickly wrap this up and then get on with building it. So this is the last updatey picture I have. So half my racking has arrived. I say that like it was the racking company's fault. It wasn't. I just didn't order enough. Because for some reason I thought, oh, well, I just have 3 shelves and 3 pallets of wood on it. Not thinking that this is like 4 meters in the air, so there's actually no way I can get wood from it. So it was like, well, that was pointless. So I've ordered another bay, and I'll just use the top for storage. So that's cool. So there's all this wood plus another 2 pallets over here. So we have so much wood. So much. But yeah, we'll probably get through it on this job. That's the scary thing. Probably not all the
And what are the prices for lumber these days? Have they stabilized any, or are they still like egregiously high?
It's a 5-figure amount of wood. So yeah, it's the most I've ever spent on materials in my life. Yeah. It's 5-figure amount of wood. There are savings to be made when you're buying it by the pallet. That is for sure. That's why we've done it. But yeah, scary. So excellent. So far, yeah. I mean, well, I probably wouldn't buy. So interestingly, I probably wouldn't buy more than that amount at once. I can't see me ever buying more than that at once. If we were using more, I'd just keep buying it by that. I mean, that is the full lorry load. I don't think they could have brought me any more anyway. It would have come on 2 lorries. So I don't think there'll be any more savings to be made, if I'm honest. So that's that. Cool. Right. Let's do some things. So I can't decide whether to do the magnets first or actually build it in the order it's supposed to be built in. I think I'm going to do the magnets first.
Oh, you mean you're going to go against the advice and not do a dry fit first?
Oh well, no. But we did a dry fit last week as we were sanding them.
Oh, okay.
And I will be dry fitting it as we go through. But I think I'm going to do the magnets before we do all the gluing. So I'm skipping 1 and 2, and we'll come back to them.
All right.
So we're going to start on 3, but before we do that, we do need to mark our magnets. So we need to show people how to mark. There's
magnets. Also a very helpful video about that on our YouTube channel.
There is.
That I'm gonna put a card over there, because that's what YouTube is for. And this is going to be chaptered. It's going to have an intro and the build, so people can. I'm learning things that have been on YouTube for years now.
So our YouTube channel will also be improving because Daj is doing it for us. So things will appear on it and on all sorts. So we have our Carrack stick. There's a fresh one here that doesn't have a magnet in it. So first thing you do is glue a magnet into this. We did that last week. Maybe? Or did I already have it in last week? I think this is the one.
I think you already have the one we made for the video series.
This is the one that lives on my desk, so it already has a magnet in it. Now, it doesn't matter. Excuse me.
Bless you.
It doesn't matter which way around you put the magnet in the Carrack stick. That's fine. Doesn't matter. So we just literally glue in the end and stuck a magnet in. That's all we needed to do. Glued it, yeah, we glued it in 2 weeks ago. It's definitely dried now. Dark is laughing because I was being so impatient when we did the video that I pulled this out twice because I didn't wait long enough. Motherfucker, I was so annoyed. Right, so just like complete impatience. Also, you can totally tell I've been carpenting at the workshop because the amount of
blood that you lost.
Of blood that I've lost this week has been brilliant. I miss it. I've been missing being. I've been doing metalwork and woodworking, so it's been brilliant. I refuse to have an accident book at the workshop because I will spend most of my day writing in it. It'll be hilarious. So first thing we do, we grab our magnets. We've got 2 sets of magnets. We've got 5mm magnets and 3mm magnets. We're going to do the 5mm ones first. We get a Sharpie and we're going to draw a dot on the end.
Is there any particular reason why it's always a purple Sharpie?
Yes. Because it's on my desk. I don't know.
Just because it happened to be there, it is now everywhere. In all the instructions in the video, you mentioned that decided that it's purple, but it's just because it was on your desk. Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. It's because it's here. So we paint the end of the magnet. We probably shouldn't do the 5mm ones first, actually. Let's do it because we don't actually need any yet. Let's do the 3mm ones. So again, you just stick it on the end. Now, so what this is doing, because the magnet in the Carrack stick is glued in, its polarity is always the same. So we're using it as a reference because that's the most important thing with the magnets. The only important thing with the magnets, really, is we get them the right way around. Otherwise, they push things out instead of pulling them in. In the instructions, on each one, you'll see. You should be able to see my mess. You can't see my mess. It shows in the instruction which side the painted side is, and that's the important thing. You're making sure that you're aware of which side is, which way around it is. So that's sort of what we're dealing with here. So the Carrack stick is acting as our way of polarizing and making sure it's the right way around. If we don't have one of these, either get a magnet, so there's spare magnets anyway, so if you've got an arrow, stick it to a piece of stick, or just take your stick of magnets and draw on one end, but make sure that you always make sure that you paint the end before you put the stick down of magnets down, otherwise you lose your way. So
the stick basically just makes sure that you're always drawing on either south or north, doesn't matter, just the same side every time.
Exactly, as long as it's the same side every time, it doesn't matter. So we're
just
going to
make sure you have only one Carrack stick, not 2 of them with opposite polarities.
Yeah. So if you end up with 2 of these, make sure that you've got them the same polarity. So then what we do is we take it off and just put it down on the desk. I shall try and put it somewhere. Right. This is a tip. Make sure metal things are not where you put your magnets down, because guess what? They'll stick to it. It's still not in shot. There it is. So that's flipped over. Another one. So we need 2 for this instruction. So we'll do 2. I mean, I used to do loads, and it just ended up in hilarity. So I tend to just do as many as I need. And I said because we've got a Carrack stick, we know we're not going to get into trouble by only doing a few. So that's fine.
And just as a aside, there isn't really a distributor of these size magnets that would already have them marked which way is which. They're all blank.
They're all blank. The cost of having them done with pre-marked would be incredible, I think. So we're going to use a couple of tools to put them in. So this is the first place we're putting them is, I'm being really conscious what I'm pointing with due to magnetism. So you see these are for the aerials, and they're just on the inside of these holes. There's one that goes that way and one that goes that way. See those? So that's what we're putting them into. Now there's two tools we'll use to put magnets in. A scalpel, i.e. using the blade, because that allows us, we might use it for this one, because it allows us to stick the magnet onto the side and sort of wipe it into the hole, because it's kind of at a weird angle. I'm just going to widen this angle, because otherwise I'm never going to keep it in shot. The other way, which is what we'll use most of the time, is a cotton bud. Now we're going to screw the fluff off one end of it, just tidy it up. And this is really what we're going to use for most of the stuff. This is what I found to be the most the interesting thing. Right, so we also need some of this. What I would recommend some of this is just a bit of waxy paper. This is a bit of some blue tack. And glue. Now, I love, this is a JRDF recommendation right here. Please contact Loctite and get me a sponsorship immediately. This particular Loctite super glue, I am a huge fan of. I'm especially a fan of this pot for it. It is lovely, really nice. So, why is it really nice? It's got these little squeezy sides, which you squeeze. And the control that gives you of how much glue is coming out is absolutely amazing.
Oh,
like
right.
The
Yes,
tiniest little squeeze.
Because the metal tubes just dispense at their own will.
At their own will, and it's dreadful. It's got such a fine tip and it's so accurate, you can use this to put directly onto models with no risk. Unless you go, you can see it coming down, you can absolutely judge when it's about to come out. It's a gel, so it's not flowing out anyway. But even gel out of tubes, you squeeze like toothpaste, and then all of a sudden comes out. And I think because it's made worse by the fact the tips are black, so you can't see it coming out like before it reaches the end, which is dumb, because that would have been a lot easier. So we just put a little bit on our waxy paper. The reason I suggest waxy paper is it won't absorb the glue, so the glue will last longer. So we're going to use our stick to apply a little bit of glue onto our stick we've got there, and then we're going to use that. I think that's going to be too wide. We're going to have to use. We'll just do it. We'll just put it on the magnet. It's fine. So we need to make.
Death Ghosts, yes. Liquid super glue is fine, but gel just because it takes longer to cure. Yeah. It gives you more time to apply and to clean up before it's completely solid and messes up your model.
Yes, I would recommend having both on site, just so that the gel is slower. Sometimes you just want to be able to do it quickly. The other thing is you have an activator. If you don't have an actual activator, baking powder is an activator for superglue, which is always quite handy to have around if you want to do a really quick joint. This is not necessarily on models, just in general. If you want to glue two things together really fast, put a bit of baking powder on one half, superglue on the other, put them together, they're now joined. It's hilarious.
And what type of glue should not be used with JRDF 3D printed model kits?
Basically, any kind of cement, polycement, because they are not... and that's true of a cast resin as well. Like, I don't think it works on a lot of modern... Warhammer stuff now, because it's a resin, a cast resin rather than a plastic, and the polycement only really works with plastics. So we've got our magnet on our scalpel. Jumping, oh no, that's the wrong button. Jumping back to this, we can see we want the purple facing outwards on the port side. So we've got our magnet. We're going to put a bit of super glue on the magnet. So the annoying thing with super glue is it melts Sharpie. So you have to just be aware of where it's going. And then we're just going to insert it in, put it into the hole, then sort of just wipe our thing away. And that's it in the hole.
And that is not against Twitch terms of service. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Wax on, wax off. Right, so a few tips here. So this is where things start to go wrong, right? The next magnet is going to be going in here. Oh no!
Oh no!
No! Hang on. What?
Did you unplug both cables when you?
Oh God! Today is all about cables, apparently.
When are they going to create completely wireless cameras?
I don't actually need to have a wireless camera. I just need to be not an idiot. Is what it needs to be. When will they make a non-idiot me? Right.
Nah, ish.
There we go.
There we go.
It's all good. Like I said, when I moved my chair, I unplugged everything. That's basically, there's a USB hub down here, and I broke everything. That's all I can tell you.
So you were saying mistakes.
Yes, I was saying before I idioted. The next magnet is going in here. Now, when we use the same scalpel to insert that magnet, what's going to happen is it's going to pull the last magnet we put in out.
Oh.
Unless
I did
we
not
wait for
even
it to dry.
think of that.
Yeah.
I did not even think of that.
So this is the challenge with these magnets, right? Part one of the challenge is putting them in. As you can see, that wasn't difficult. Part two is not pulling them back out again before they're dry, and it's just the haste of it. Now, because we are in a bit of a rush, we're going to cheat a little bit and just move on to a magnet that's down here, because we're not going to pull this one out. We're not going to pull that one out as we're inserting this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that does just mean we're just going to be dipping in and out of where which one takes. We're going to jump out onto 5 and put the magnets in, because we're going to have the same issue here, because that one on the roof is going to pull the one out on the ground. If we try to do one then the other, we will have ourselves issues with it. Okay, but that's fine.
You could have fixed that by having them the different polarities so they would repel each other. Oh no, yeah.
We could, but in general, to make life easier, I try to have the general rule that if you've got a thing you're inserting into the model, say a landing gear, the magnets are always pointing outwards or something like that. And then, just to save my own sanity. But yes, you're right. We could have done it. We could have done it that way. So I'm going to do this one here. No. So this one in here first. So if we look at the instructions, that's painted side outwards. So again, we have, so we're going to pick the magnet up, making sure so when it hit the thing, it flipped the wrong way, because if we insert it like that, it'll be painted side in. So very carefully turn the magnet over on our scalpel. Obviously, if you're sticking something to a metal surface, it'll stick either way, most of the time. If you do this for long enough, and put magnets for too long on a metal thing, you actually will give it a polarity. You'll actually give it a slight polarity, and it'll mean that they're constantly flipping over. And the only way to get rid of that is just to leave it, or get another metal thing. It will dissipate very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's also demagnetizing thingies that you could use, but that is if you're really in a hurry, but you shouldn't be rushing with us.
No. So we've got our glue on it. That was probably a little bit too much glue. A little bit excited there. There we go. So, and then again, we're just going to use the scalpel. I just need to get it closer to the end of the blade. There we go. I'm going to just pop. I'm going to need it right on the end of the blade, aren't I? There's a lip just on the inside there. So I'm just going to use this cotton bud just to move the magnet right to the end without it flipping over. And then white in. So you can see painted side is up, like in the instructions. So what you need to do is, once you've got it in, visually check it with the instructions. Do not use a magnet to check its polarity, because you will just pull the magnet out. It's so tempting to do. Like, to test it. It's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. That's in, that's fine, done. Next one. We're going to do one on the other side.
On the starboard side. So I'm guessing now the purple side faces into the ship.
Yes. Now, this is an odd one. This is the only time I've ever done this, where I've had a non-symmetrical rule of thumb with the magnets. And the reason that I've done this is so that when we do the magnets in the actual aerial pieces, these bits, these can all be done the same way.
And I'm guessing they fit in either hole.
They fit in either side, so like it would have just been a pain. So it does mean that this bit of the Carrack bit is more of a pain. Magnets are a pain in the ass. They make the models amazing, but they are a pain. So we're going to get our Carrack stick again. We're going to mark a few magnets. Again, the Carrack stick is brilliant because it stops us messing this up, because its polarity never changes. So I'll have another couple of magnets.
Will the Pisces kit come with a Pisces stick?
It'll come with the Carrack stick, yeah.
It'll come with a Carrack stick.
It's going to be the same fucking stick. I can tell you that right now.
Will it have the updated logo?
Oh, it will have the... Oh, damn it, it's not going to be the same goddamn stick. Oh, man. We obviously got a new logo, and this is the old logo. God damn it. I hate having new parts all the time. I think we should count up how many different parts we have. It's like hundreds at this point. That we all have to manufacture individually.
Get rid of the old sticks, and then maybe sometime later down the line, it's people with the old Carrack sticks. Maybe they'll get a bit of a discount.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. We could just put the new logo sticks in the Carrack, couldn't we? No one knows.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about selling the Arrow out, and we eventually do that in the PTV, is then we've got less parts on the docket. Really looking forward to that, can't tell you how much. Right, so this time the painted side is facing into the fuselage of the ship, so we need to make sure we're going to put this bottom one in. So it's in this side wall, so we need to make sure that the painted side of the magnet is the thing touching the scalpel. It's worth just going through this a couple of times in your head and just go, right, okay, I've now got it on my scalpel. When I put it in, yes, the painted side's going to be facing into the body of the ship. Cool, we've got it right. Before you put glue on it. So I'll say our glue still isn't dried because we put it on waxy paper.
I'm pretty sure we could get that, yeah. An old logo with like a crayon crossover, and then the new logo next to it.
Yeah. So what happened there was it jumped out. So now I need to be very careful not to stick it to my finger. I shall try again. So that was the issue with, this is the issue of using a metal thing to put a magnet in. Sometimes if you don't wipe correctly, so I'm going to just idiot check myself again. Yes, when I put this in. Okay, right, I've got it in. It's desperately trying to jump out on me, but we're okay. I can see it just sort of peeking out, so what I'm going to do, just get another bit of kit, which obviously isn't metal, just to help me seat it into that hole a little bit better. Obviously this isn't going to drag it back out again because it's plastic. Okay, so that's 3 magnets in. So what I'm going to do... So what I'm going to do is going to put this to one side. And we're just going to pick another piece. There is no... like, if that sits there for 5-10 minutes, brilliant. Try and let these magnets have as long as possible to dry, because then it will make your life so much easier, because things won't be pinging out and all this kind of shite. So we're going to jump to a cargo pod. And I know we're jumping around the instructions a bit here, but it's fine. It honestly is fine. Cargo pods, I missed them, obviously. We did put an instruction of how to put them in the cargo pods, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, it's just right at the end. So, yes. So this is a cargo pod. So there's two
Something
types.
has to be at the end.
That's very true. So there's three types of cargo pod that you get with the kit. You get a diorama one that has its doors open, that doesn't have any magnets in it. Then you get these two. This is sort of a complete one that already has its doors in as part of the print, and then these holes in the bottom, which are for the stand. We then have this type, which has doors separately. These are the little doors. And the reason that the doors are separate is so that we can put the magnets on the inside, and then we won't see the magnets, because we could have them as a dropped pod diorama, which would be really cool. So let's look at the instructions. So painted side facing up. So we want to stick the painted side to the scalpel. We're doing a lot of scalpel ones to start with, interestingly. Also these sort of wipey type ones. We should probably talk about the... Good evening, all. How's the build going? It's going well. We're having fun with magnets. That's all I can say. Magnets are the bane of a lot of people's life with our models. They are one of the things that make our models quite unique, and also what drives people mental. So I'm just going to hold this in a little bit because it's wanting to jump out. Stay in. There we go. Check, we got it. We did. Now, interestingly, again, what we don't want to do is try and put the other one in. There's two in it. We want to put this to one side. Don't fucking touch it. Just don't. Put it to one side. Get the next one. Do another magnet. I'm probably gonna revert to using this now. I really only need to use the scalpel when I can't get this in particularly easily. This is obviously better for putting the magnets in because it's not magnetic, and therefore makes our life a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of glue on my stick. I'm going to put the glue in the hole. And then with the remaining glue on my stick, I'm going to use that to pick my magnet up. And I'm going to just pop it in. And that's obviously a lot easier because it's not being magnetized to it. Then I'm going to use the other end just to clean the glue up. Now, what I will do is, you can see there's purple on my thing there. Because the glue kind of melts the Sharpie, when you clean it up, you effectively wipe the ink off. So just be aware that that will happen. And the last one. And so a bit of glue on the stick, glue in the hole, magnet onto the stick, magnet in the hole.
So it's recommended to use the plastic one for most of them.
Yeah, when
the scalpel just for the ones in thin slots that are hard to get to.
Yeah, basically, because you'll find it so much easier. I mean, to be honest, if you had a plastic knife or something, just something thinner than this, you could use that. Try not to use the scalpel where you can. Is easier because I say the scalpel just wants to pull the magnet back out as you do it. The other thing is obviously,
or if you have a stainless steel scalpel.
Yeah, that is true. Not really sure why this isn't stainless steel.
It probably is. Being a stainless steel does not mean not being ferromagnetic. There are stainless steel variants that are ferromagnetic.
The other thing you got to remember is all stainless steel is slightly ferromagnetic, and these are neodymium magnets. So they have a tendency to try and stick to anything. I do have a big block of high-grade stainless somewhere. It's like these bearings are stainless. Still stick to it.
The balls are the balls stainless as well, or the races. The cage inside is that. Stainless.
They are, so the balls in these are actually ceramic
Okay.
bearings.
And so you said the cage will also be ceramic, yeah.
Ceramic. Thank you, Flan. Your brain is working as fast as mine, and you're a long way away. Cool. So now we're going to do this one. So that is this step in the instructions. So in this case, it is painted side down, which does make sense when we think about it, because we were painted side up here, but we're putting them on the inside, so we want painted side down on this because we're actually sticking them to the top. The reason this one's different, we never see the top of this because this is only used when it's on its stand. So it's that's all good, and I need more magnets. So again, we're just going to do one in each piece. When we try, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can put both of these magnets in at the same time, like one after the other. But there's so many magnets to do on this model, you might as well save yourself the headache, because I can guarantee you it will cause you a headache. So I'm going to flip that magnet over because I want it in the other way. So glue on my stick, glue in the hole, use the stick, glue on the stick to pick the magnet up, drop the magnet, and then into the hole. Just use that to tidy it up, make sure it's all the way in. Beautiful. There's in the hole. Put it
shiny
to one side.
as well.
Shiny. Right, I've now picked up this. I'm just picking up random pieces now. I'm going to pick this piece up.
And then find it in the instructions.
Then find it in the instructions. This is not how instructions should work, but it's how we're going to do instructions today. So this is this piece on the right, so they're all painted side out.
I got you. So yeah. That is this part. Yes, that is the and the part that you are adding magnets to is the closed hanger door.
Yes. It is.
That has
three
magnets.
That one in that has three magnets. So what are the three magnets for? Glad you asked, Dodge. So
that is a question that has been eating at me for years at this point.
Yes, exactly. It does feel like I've been making this model for years. So these two magnets that sit here on the longer pegs, they are reacting with something you can't see because I left that in. So they're reacting with these two magnets that we're going to put in here. Now, these pegs aren't long enough to actually touch the bottom of the they aren't long enough to touch this. They're not going to scratch the paint, but they're close enough that those magnets will attract enough to stop this falling out if you turn it upside down. The other magnet in there is really clever. So that's quite close to the surface, and that is of the correct polarity so that you can use the Carrack stick to lift it in and out. So instead of having to put it in by hand and then using a knife to try and prise it out, you can use the Carrack stick to lift the piece in and out of the model, which is another godsend use for the Carrack stick. So I'm going to put that to the side. Tugin, thanks. Wonderful afternoon starting the build. Oh, good. Right, so again, we're going to do this piece next since I pulled it out, and it's on the same page. So this is painted side down. We don't have any painted, so we need to paint some.
Full 6. And that is that those 6 magnets to each hold the cargo pot in place.
Yes, that's correct. So there seems to be loads of magnets on this piece, but this is what, as Dar says, each pair of these is holding a cargo pod. So this is the ceiling. This is a really interesting part for me of the Carrack, is this part. So this is the ceiling of the cargo bay, and we had to make up what it looks like because it doesn't have any geometry or anything in game because we haven't seen what it looks like. So I'm just really hoping that that Ben Curtis does me a solid and makes it look the same. So these are painted side down. So I need a bit more glue than that.
And in the instructions, this piece is one of the final ones that is installed, just because the cavity acts as an access point for inserting the windows and possibly even a lighting kit if you're so inclined.
Yeah, so if you did want to do a lighting kit, what I would suggest is, this is quite a snug fit, is to not glue it in. It does say to glue it in the instructions, but if you want to keep access to the inside of your model, this is a good way of keeping it. Maybe put a bit of blue tack or a bit of Yoo-hoo or something on it if you're really concerned about it falling out. It probably won't. If your model is on the stand, the weight of the model is actually holding this in place because it's in compression. And if you are having it in landed state, it's only got the weight of the pods on it. It's unlikely to pull it out. As I say, it is a relatively tight fit, deliberately so that you can use it as a door to get it, access in and out of. And because it's got magnets on it, you can use another magnet to help you pull it back out again. I say only do that if you need to keep access to the inside of your model. If you're going to do a lighting kit to replace the batteries and stuff like that, really, really nice place to do it. Right, another random part. The ramp.
Death Ghost asks, does the Carrack stick fit somewhere inside the Carrack when completed for storage?
No. I think he asked this because, interestingly, we discovered after the fact that the freelancers, their cargo bay can store all their spare landing gear and stuff, which is really fucking useful. So this is the front cargo ramp, so we want this to be painted side out.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's the same methodology. We're just going to put a bit of glue in there. Use the tiny bit of glue left on the stick to lift our magnet in. Tidy it up, make sure it's flush. Perfect. I've wiped most of the Sharpie. So much I'm going to write back on it in Sharpie. Just to save myself going mad. So we've done that, put it to one side. I know there's obviously two magnets to do into all of these, but that's fine. This, again, same theory. Painted side out. This is one of the front landing gears. In we go. There it is. Boom, done. So hopefully you guys are seeing the magnets aren't as horrendous as some people find them. And that's not me blaming people that, why can't you do this? It's so simple. It's insanely methodical. I've done hundreds of magnets now, so yes, I do make it look easy because I've done hundreds of them. But I do think that, without a shadow of a doubt, the way you fuck this up is rushing it so that you're not paying attention to which way around you're putting them, and trying to put too many magnets in at once, close to each other, and them jumping out.
You know what I did realize? The magnets for the cockpit are facing each other, so they will repel.
Oh yes, they are actually. But but interestingly, that can be worse because what they are trying to do is trying to get the magnet to flip over as you put it in, and that you've got to be really careful of that because at the last minute they go boop, boop, and he's like, God damn it, it's the wrong way around. What is the future ship in production, please? So it's an interesting question. We have a couple of ships we have a pipeline, a bit like CIG does. The next ship in the pipeline that you guys will see hit the shells is the Pisces. This little 1 to 100 Pisces we just happen to have kicking around. That's because it's been nearly ready to go for ages. This is a ridiculously busy year for us outside of kit models. And I will say, we obviously had a huge amount of time during COVID to do fucking kit models. Let's just say that. Because there were no events, so we couldn't do what we were an events company. It's like, we're not actually a model company. We're an events company. We're now a marketing company as well now. But yeah. So...
Are the two Pisces different SKUs in game?
Yes.
So just like the characters, there will be 500 of each?
Yes. Just like the Carrack. When will we do the... well, okay, so basically we'll need to do the big ships, like the Kraken and the Idris. to do ships of that scale, we will need to have larger printers and be able to cast some of the parts. The ships also need to be finished and in game. I know the Idris is in game, but it's not finished. And it's that whole thing of probably once we start to be able to fly them ourselves. I can talk to CIG and they'll go, the outside of it's finished, this is finished. We obviously have very good contacts with them. The Kraken, obviously, we cannot do until it is done. So there has to be in game.
Considering the prominent feature of it, the Indras would probably have the same sort of cast resin bridge as the Carrack.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's probably more parts than just the one that would have the bridge, the cast parts potentially. The biggest issue with the Idris, I'll be honest, is that to develop that as a product, as a model to sell, because it'll be 1 to 500, so it's a 2-foot model, will probably take us the best part of 6 months of design work to get the same detail level we get for that. At the moment, hand on heart, we wouldn't do it. And it unfortunately comes down to the fact that, as I say, we're an events company, and we currently don't sell anywhere near enough of these kit models to make it anywhere near as profitable as our event work. During COVID, we did a lot of kit models because there wasn't any event work. So we've only broken even on, I think, 2 or 3 kits. And they're amazingly fun to do. I don't want to stop doing them. Do not get me wrong. I'm not going to stop doing kit models. But they need to start selling out and selling a lot more for us to prioritize them above event clients. Because our event work is always, a factor of 5 or 10 more profitable. We did a job for Hublot last year that made more than all of the kit models that year, and we made it in 3 weeks. So it's like, and it was a lot easier. It was a bit stressful, but it was a lot easier.
What tool does Kals use to make you go talk and work at the same time instead of just talk?
Oh yeah, see,
I have the only thing I have is this.
That's a good question. It's a fair question. Right. I'm going to do some of these now. These are probably the hardest ones.
I haven't actually seen those up close. I meant to, but are they? Are the holes for the magnets all the way through, or is there a cup?
No,
it's all the way
through. So I'm going to show you how to do that, because here we are. So the Pisces has this wonderfulness as well. So the way to do these is, you can't see the instructions, so we're obviously going to lay it down in the same orientation, and then it's going to have the painted side down. So we have it in the same orientation, like that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on the wax paper, in an area of the wax paper without glue on it, obviously. Or I would probably be better to get a different bit of wax paper, but I don't have one to hand. I'm then going to get my stick. I'm going to put a bit of glue around the outside of it, and these sticks are are small enough to be able to go inside. So I'm just going to wipe glue around the inside, because we're only sticking the magnet effectively on the inside of that rim. Put it back down on my waxy paper. The glue won't stick to the wax paper. It's quite helpful. So and then we need to put the magnet in. This
is like basically any sort of paper that you got stickers on, or a double-sided adhesive.
Yeah, this came off some blue tack. I have a lot kicking around that came out of the. So I've just inserted that magnet in. So the wax paper is stopping it coming out the bottom, but I'm not gluing it to the wax paper, because the glue won't stick to the wax paper. And that's it. That is done. I shall try and do it better on camera this time. I'm really shit at this because it's like I have big gorilla hands. They're like, oh, I'm doing a thing. Can you see it? Look how great the thing is. Ta-da! It's done. It's like I'm taking the piss. It's like, oh, I've just got a pile of them that I've already done. It's like, oh yes, I'm putting them out. There it is. Yeah, there it is. It's just shit magic is what I'm doing. So we'll do that again.
Ngantek says, the fit is so good I sometimes wonder if your universal scale is the diameter of the cotton bud shaft.
Well, you know what? Probably unconsciously it is. It's just because, if it hadn't have worked, I might have changed how I'd done it. Because you see, the thing you got to remember is that I'm going to try and do this.
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Kordath, thank you for the sub. Wait, so I'm trying to do this so you can see it on camera, so I'm just placing it in there.
Well, it was Tugin paying forward a gift they got from
Thank you very much. And there we go. So I think the key to these magnets is make sure you've got a decent bit of glue. And I said the gel is so much easier. You can see there's not glue going everywhere here because we're using the gel. It makes life so much easier. And then it really is just an absolute leave it to dry. I will keep just saying it over and over again. Cannot say it enough. Just leave these to dry. So wiping the glue on the inside.
And if you have a bit of dried up residue around there, I'm guessing it's quite easy to just sand it off.
Once it's dry, you can just sand it off. It's fine. I mean, the thing we'll do is, so that hasn't gone all the way in perfectly flat. I'm just going to grab another cotton bud. Use this other cotton bud. That's why I wipe after we've put them in, just to tidy up the glue a little bit with these cotton buds. The cotton buds are a fantastic tool for this. I cannot state how much I love using cotton buds for doing magnets. They're just the thing to use. To be honest, I've always used cotton buds in modeling. I need to do more magnets. So I keep not having a magnet. I keep doing then one magnet, and then lo and behold, I don't have a magnet again. It's this fucking conspiracy.
Which is why in the instructions it said to do all of them at once, and then you'll have a supply.
Yes. Now, I will say, you can do them all at once. And obviously, that's what we've said in the instructions. So it's not.
I don't think you've actually shown a single piece of how the magnet goes inside the hole, because you're blocking it with your hands.
It's so hard to do it!
Probably best if you move the camera, but you don't have a mount where it could be easily...
I know. What I need, this one's gone in slightly cockeyed, I might have to pull it out. My hands are too big, there we go. Oh my god. Yeah, what I need is a cameraman.
You had one for a week.
Yeah, I know, but unless you'll actually come and live in my house. This one does not want to go in straight. It's just big. I don't know if it matters particularly, but I kind of want it to just make sure it's all the way in the hole. Why?
I guess because the hole is slightly too small for it?
No, I think it's because it's slightly too... Alright, now we're flat. We're happy now. I don't know. I've no idea. Can't explain why it wanted to...
Maybe in the print hole got slightly oval shaped instead of round.
How bizarre. Right, so we need to make sure with these ones that we've got these laid the right way when we're doing it. So it's that I'm going to get a new cotton bud. That isn't helping. After a while, the cotton bud gets so crapped up with
dry glue.
With dry glue. Right. So if I'm doing that, the camera wants to kind of be over my shoulder, doesn't it?
Or in front of you, facing downwards. But you don't have room for that. I know.
Or tell you what we could do.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what we could do.
Yes.
We could try anyway.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
We might get away with it. We might get away with it.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Trust me, Dosh, you're just going to see me put my hands in the way in a different way.
Yeah. I think it's a lot easier this way to approach the object from the side. But if you're just going like this, hovering over it.
Yeah, as I say, Adam Savage never has this issue because he has a fucking camera crew.
Mm-hmm. But that initial COVID series of videos where it was just him and his phone. Doing stuff, that was interesting.
It was, and you didn't just see his fucking hands all the time, did you? Bastard.
Well, but we don't know how many takes it took him.
That is true. As Daj knows, though, I am a one-take kind of guy. When we did all of the videos, I need something. Right, so I need to push a little bit harder to get this in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing it on a squishy mouse mat.
Oh,
so I just need a small piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
And since I don't own a small piece of wood, I'm going to use this huge, gargantuan piece of wood just to give myself a solid base. See?
So the way these are still oriented, actually, I should maybe put the instructions upside down. Is yeah, whoa, shiny, too shiny.
Yeah, too shiny.
Yeah, there we go. Magnet with the purple side facing downwards.
Yes, there we go. So again, I've got it same orientation as in the instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Purple side down. These are the hardest ones, I will be honest. These are a bit of a clusterfuck. I mean, sometimes I don't bother putting all the magnets in, I'll be honest. Just because some of these things actually push fit quite nicely anyway. So they probably don't really need magnets all the time. But magnets are cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just using the wood just to be able to push these in. Just trying to straighten.
Again, not what you're thinking of, Chad.
God, chat's got such a dirty mind, and there isn't even Silky in. Jeez. Yeah. Speaking of Silky, we have Beacon coming up not too many months away. If any of you don't know what Beacon is, it is the French-speaking event, started as an event of 2022. There we go. Cool, that's all. Oh, fuck, there's one more to do. 2 more to do. God damn it.
2 more to do.
So many fucking aerials on this thing. What's going on? I do love the fact that so many people's favourite part of this model are these fucking aerials. It's like, well, you've done it before CIG. It's like, no, we haven't. These are in the model. You just can't unfold them. Because, I don't know, we don't have that gameplay loop.
Yeah.
It's like they genuinely are on the model. And there's even the animation for them as well.
And we saw them unfolded in the Pyro demo.
Exactly.
Where the freelancer, the Carrack with the landing gear down, went into quantum and into over the horizon into the sunset.
Stop breaking the immersion.
It just once you watch that thing so many times as I do, you start noticing these things.
This is because you don't have Amazon Prime, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all you've got is the Carrack video to watch and watch and watch. Oh, did you like Inside Star Citizen?
Apparently, he's got some great friends.
I did.
Firemaster, thank you very much for the sub. I am 7.
7.5. I did like the Inside Star Citizen. I'm sure you liked it just because of a certain bulbous ship that was featured in and looking almost finalized.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Give me my... Oh, no, wrong way. Yes, I want my hulls. No, I really liked the derelicts.
Yes,
the derelicts are looking sweet.
They look like some levels from Tomb Raider or Uncharted or something like that, but with the current vaulting and mounting mechanic, they're gonna be a pain. We need better what's the word? Organic level navigation where it's not just stairs and flat corridors.
Yeah. That's probably true. But yeah, they're just looking so sweet. That Montreal team is doing a fucking amazing job.
I love how everything turned out from the new hires getting like a task, like make us something, a pretty location for us to do, and then the director was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take 100."
Yeah. Give me all of them. I'm just using a knife to get the glue off my stick.
We could, next time we do a game thing, you try to find one of those and see what they're like from, because the new derelicts are in 3.16.1.
Oh, are they? Is that live?
It is.
I don't know anything about Star Citizen at the moment. I'll warn you that, because I just haven't had time.
There's no major changes apart from content.
Apart from content.
Well, there's no new features, no new
in the game. So just to quickly point out, I'm now going back through all of the ones that we've put one in and starting to put the next one. Actually, I should do one on the body, actually, because there's quite a lot on this. So we'll do the same order we did before. We'll put this side one in first. So on the port side, that was with it facing out, we're going to have to go back to using our scalpel. So this is where we start to need to get a little bit more cautious, because what's going to happen is because we're trying to put a magnet in quite close to a magnet that's already in, we need to make sure that it doesn't flip the magnet over or do something dumb, or that the other magnet doesn't pull this magnet out.
It's not going to flip it over because they are in the same orientation, but it may attract it, yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see, as I try and pull... Oh, yeah.
Coming out?
Yep. That's fine. I'll just do it again. So what's going to happen here is I could do with a bit of... I could do just to insert this with a bit of plastic. It would make my life so much easier. I don't want to use a bit of my model, though.
This is purple out.
It says purple out. What I have... Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to use this, which is another bit of the model. Which is maybe not ideal, but it's what we're going to do. Because we're just crazy like that. So I'm going to very carefully stick this to my finger. So I've sort of got it on the end of that with a tiny bit of glue, but there's also glue on the magnet itself. No, it's still too wide. We're going to have to do it with a blade. This is the problem, because this is such a tiny gap. Really, a blade is the only way to get it in. Okay, we'll make it work. We will make it work. So
Slide out of frame, by the way.
Oh. Alright, so I'm using this to push the magnet.
On the other side of the blade.
That's fine, doesn't really matter, does it? Right, so I've got it towards the end of the on the end of it now. Alright, it's in the hole. Okay, so it's in there. So what I'm now going to try and do is slide something the other side of that magnet, like that, so I can pull the blade out without the magnet being able to pop out, and then we're happy. So I'll try and describe what I just did there. We have to do it again. So the problem we're having was I was using the blade to put the magnet in. I'm conscious of not getting the blade too close to it, just jump back out. And then I couldn't take the blade out without the magnet dropping in. So once the magnet was in, I wedged another piece of plastic in the hole so that I could drag the blade out without it.
So it
the
would,
magnet coming out.
For this, it would behoove you to use a plastic bit, a very thin, pointy bit of plastic.
Yeah, like I just don't have
or a toothpick.
Maybe it is quite tight. I will give it that. So we're going to do the other side now. So we got the same issue. It's coming in here. It is into the model. Purple in. So we want purple facing outwards on our scalpel.
Faces out, Dan.
So we've got the magnet the right way around on this. We've got a bit of plastic ready. I'm going to put a bit of glue on the magnet. I'm going to insert the magnet into the hole like that. I'm just still in shot. Just wedge the plastic in, pull the blade out, and then take the plastic out. We're all good. So you can see the magnet just in there.
Indeed.
So
good job.
Even these really ball-achy ones aren't really that bad. So we're now going to do the one on the. God, I'm pointing it to the wrong fucking camera. I'm still pointing it to this camera. God, I'm such a moron. So we're putting it in this, and this is again blue out.
That one. No. Blue or purple towards the center of the ship.
Yes. So yes. Yeah.
Yes, out of the surface that you're putting it in, but in terms of the orientation of the ship, it's towards the sort of plane that's intersecting it.
I'm going to try and use the cotton bud this time. I did use the scalpel last time, and I probably shouldn't have done it. Probably wasn't the best one to use. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue in. Pick up the magnet. Try to anyway. So we've got to be careful here because we've already got a magnet in here, and it's going to want to pull this magnet out of our line. So that's in. Sweep it. Fine. We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
These magnets are so fucking strong. Cannot tell you. Right. So we've done 3 more on this. We're going to put this to one side again. Out of our life. We're just going to forget about it. Westbrook Drew, engineer. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. We're doing endless magnets, Drew and Unji. So many magnets. It's also blowing an absolute hoolie here. So we had 60-mile-an-hour winds the other night. We've got 60-mile-an-hour winds tonight as well. So if the stream just disappears, it's because a telegraph pole got blown down.
The internet got blown away.
The internet got blown away. Thankfully, the wind doesn't seem, touch wood, to affect our internet than they used to. There was obviously a pole somewhere that was getting rattled around by the wind, because it used to fuck the internet up big time. I think that might have been before we got a fibre to cabinet then. So it might have been.
Well, fibre's in the ground.
Yeah, but it still comes overhead. Not all of it. Some of ours is overhead.
Really?
On the old poles, yeah. It was cheaper to get it into rural areas to put the armoured optic on the cables on the old poles. Okay. Just because digging up the fucking roads in the countryside is a nightmare. Because just digging it into the mud, and there's no like solid. So everything it fucking moves too much, and it wrenches cables and things. So we like to put things on poles. It is windy, yeah, but it's not unheard of. I mean, we tend to get. We can't really complain. We get the arse end of American weather. On this side of the Atlantic. So when you have a massive storm, we kind of get the tail end of it, and we get severe gales from it, but not like actual, tornadoes and that kind of stuff. I mean, the storm we had just before Christmas killed a few people. They are fatal storms. Trees hitting cars. That is what happens. There was 2 coppers that were so fucking lucky. They got out to help someone who had a branch had hit their tree. They got out, and a tree flattened their police van. Just cut it in half. It was like, oh, now we need rescuing. But they just got out of it, and this tree just went absolutely cut their car in half. So yeah, that is what is the main risk in this country from the wind is trees. We have a lot of them. So we're back to cargo pods. So we've already got the magnets in this side of them. It's all with them with purple facing out. So I'm going to put the glue in. Like that. We're also... try another one. We're also west coast of Scotland, so we're obviously getting the storms rolling in off the Atlantic here. We're not coastal. We're Crawford's 30 miles from the coast, but it howls down the valleys and stuff here. The highest wind speed I've had here since living here was 104. That was fairly scary. Especially when you built your own house. I don't know why. There's I have zero trust in myself, so it's just oh god, don't blow my house down! Well, it's not blow my house down, don't rip tiles out. We've had tiles ripped off the roof and all that kind of shit. But, yeah, we had 104 mile an hour recorded in the village once. And yeah, that uprooted trees and... thankfully, it was during the winter. When we get storms in, after springtime, that's when you get a lot more damage because all the trees are in leaf, and it will uproot trees much easier.
It's just a sail at that point.
Yeah. We have a lot of pine trees around here, which obviously don't lose their needles, but needles are nothing like leaves when it comes to being a sail, so they tend to survive okay. God, there's so many on this one. We'll try and put 2 on this one. This one never get all these. Doing opposite.
You could go top right and bottom middle.
To be honest, we could probably go brave. They are probably far enough apart and on quite a flat surface. Shall we do it? Shall we do it, chat? So we put all 5 in.
Yeah.
Shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Do it.
YOLO, fam, as the kids say these days, or something. I don't know. I'm not a kid.
No, we are not kids. We discovered that we're the same age while you were here, didn't we?
Kinda, yeah.
Within months of each other.
I'm June 84, yeah.
I'm January 84.
So you'll always be old man to me.
Yeah.
I'll be the child.
Right. New stick.
Right. Before you start building, grab one of those fresh packs of 500. You'll need them.
December 69. What a year.
Nice.
I don't remember it. I'm sorry, Flan. Where are these bloody youths of today? Fucking music and... Right, so we've got them...
TikToks.
And our TikToks. Fucking TikToks. Right, so I've got my magnets over here all the right way, so we're going to try and dot these in. So, glue in the hole, magnet, boom, clean it off, glue in the hole, magnet, Ooh, don't get squirrely on me. So what happened there is it flipped over. And now I've got kind of glue and paint on both sides. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick it back on my Carrack stick. Re-put paint on it. Because then I know. That's the other thing. If that happens, err on the side of caution. Because if you have got it the wrong way around because of it flipping over and you've got Sharpie on the end of the glue stick and then you're not quite sure, that's when things start to unravel. Boom.
Nice.
Just like that. Put it to one side. More magnets.
How many extras are there in the Carrack?
Extra magnets? Oh, I don't. I guess we're going to find out. Because I've not lost any yet.
Well, one of them is meant for the Carrack stick.
Yes, that is accounted for. That is accounted for. As far as I know, there are some spares. I mean, so you've also got to remember that a part of the reason that there are spares is entirely because we're lovely people, and also because these come in sticks of 100. The things, so separating them into 50s is easier. So I wonder if I can count 48 out.
Yeah.
And also, we have the same number in the arrow. So it's like, can we just put 50 in again? Fucking sweet. So
and it is like a couple of cents per magnet. If you're putting a couple of extras in, it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's it. I mean, we did work out. So for the whole run of Carracks, there is £7,700 worth of magnets in it. Yep.
Okay, I retract my statement.
Well, they're 0.2 pence each.
It's just so fucking many.
So fucking many. 50 per Carrack, 1,000 Carracks.
Right.
So 50,000 of them. So fucking adds up.
Purple out on the landing gear.
Thank you.
In case, yep.
And this is the thing. It's just like when you start to manufacture stuff, the numbers just get silly. And this is one of the things that obviously we've had to learn, becoming manufacturers of a product. We were so used to just making one or two of something, for events and things.
Yeah, for a hobby, as well.
Yeah, or a hobby, yeah, absolutely. But like, when you're doing event stuff, it's like, and the mentality is so different because when you're doing something for an event, and you come up with a design of how you're going to do it, and then you do it, and it didn't work out how you thought it would. It was an absolute fucking ball ache, and you went, well, thank God I'm only going to make one of those. Whereas, when you do a product, it's like if something's being a pain in the ass, you kind of need to go, right, you need to take a step back. You need to make it not a pain in the ass, because if you make, and I'll hold my hands up. We have done products where we've subsequently done it better. And I'd love to be able to go back and undo things and, change things on old models to make them better. And we just can't do it. It's not possible. But there is, if you come across something that is a pain when I'm like test building these models, obviously you test building them all the time as you start to design them. If something is a real pain in the ass, you've got to change it, because you're then going to ask 1,000 people that have given you their hard-earned money to build these models, and you don't want to make their life miserable. It's not what we're here for. We're trying to bring you joy. Joy, I tell you. Now, obviously, the best way of doing it, as Lydia has done with some of her models, is get someone else to do it, like Miz. Then he has to deal with all the little magnets. He loves magnets, does Miz. We like persecuting old Miserable G. He's an absolutely amazing guy, and something that people won't, unless you know him personally, know about Miserable G is he is a fucking amazing baker. Oh my god, his cakes are amazing! Oh my god. He brought us a cheesecake, I think, once when he came. But oh my god, just mwah. Best cake I've ever eaten. Oops, no command yet. Yeah, you get on that, Dash. There you go. Right, we've not got many.
You don't
magnets.
have access to your bot.
We've got no. Do you not? We have a bot.
Do we have a bot?
I don't know. I didn't set any of this up. We've not got many magnets left. I don't know who set this up. Fuck only knows. I don't know. I don't know. Right, so we've got some on the underneath of here. So we've got these two here, these two in here. So let's find them in the instructions. Oh, we've got those to do.
There we go. That's it.
Those ones right there. So all of these are painted sides in. Yes. That's the button. I suspect the thing I'm going to be annoyed most about this super glue is there is not as much in this as it seems.
Oh, right. This is a big container for not much glue, is it?
Yeah, because there's so much of the mechanism.
Ah.
Fair. It's so lovely.
Yeah, sure.
And you can't fucking refill it. Right, so we need...
Story of your life.
I need to flip these magnets over so I'm putting them in the right way. So we're going to put the glue into this hole here. Not convinced the glue actually went in that hole. Let's wipe it off. Whoop. Nope. No, come on. Oh, we're going. Oh, so that got squirrely. Let's pull that out.
Because there's a magnet on the other side.
No, there isn't. Not yet. There will be soon.
Oh.
There will be soon. No, that was just good old not playing ball. Right, let's try again. To flip my magnet over. I'm going to pick a different magnet because we'll remark that other one. We'll try this again. Okay, it's in but not in. Just push it in. There we go. And then. So this is the problem. Now we've got, because there's purple on here, when we wipe it, we put purple on it. It goes, oh, I've got it the wrong way around. Quick, I'll get a magnet and check.
Don't.
If you do want to spend a little bit of money, and I'm like 15 quid on Amazon, you can get a polarity tester, an electronic polarity tester. So if you did want to have that as your backup, check that the magnet's going the right way, you can use a polarity tester without pulling the magnet out. Because you just get it near it and it beeps. It just goes red or green. So there is a way of doing it.
Is there a type of paint that the super glue wouldn't dissolve?
Maybe, but I'm sponsored by Sharpie one day. What you need to understand is, Dash, there isn't a paint that doesn't rub off that's on my desk at the moment. So therefore, it's of no use to me. So I'm looking for the magnet. You'll discover that you'll start losing magnets because they're attaching themselves to other magnets on the model. So that's where that little bugger went. So we're going to put him back on the stick. Boop, back on the stick for remarking.
Such a useful tool, that Carrack stick.
It is, and we haven't even got on to putting the windows in with it. I've got a feeling there's a part 3 to this.
Oh, right. An unannounced part 3.
It's fine.
We're approaching 2 hours already, yeah.
I know. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'd rather not rush these things. We'll have a couple of 2-week breaks between building a Carrack. Oh, we didn't. Oh, fuck. I didn't do the giveaway.
Oh, shit. Right, yeah.
God damn it. I'll put an hour-and-a-half timer on it. We're not going to do an hour-and-a-half timer on it, people. We're going to do a 30-minute timer on it. So we've got a giveaway. It's a thing. Oh, God. Can I do this without breaking my cables? Maybe. Viewers of this channel will have seen these before. I found one the other day. So these are our artwork proofs. And whoop, no, wrong way.
Also upside down.
So these are our artwork proofs. We get these from our printers. We get 2 sets of them, I think. One goes to CIG. And we sign the other one. So this is all the stuff, artwork for Cutlass Black, diorama, freelance diorama, arrow diorama, and our thank you cards. How fucking cool is that? Captain Squirrel, hello. Thank you. So we sign them and we give them away because we like to give you stuff, and we like to give you physical stuff because we're a physical merch company, and we don't have anything virtual to give you, so we give you physical things. So we're going to give this away, and we shall post it out to you. Prepare for that to start. Right, I need to just edit this so that it is not an hour and a half.
Prepare yourself.
Fucking hell. Right, okay.
Not mean to do that much echo and reverb.
So just for reference, So just for reference, I will say this. I say this every time. If you're a subscriber, you get 10 tickets. If you're just a follower, you get 1 ticket. After we've started it, you can still subscribe and then do the exclamation, whatever the thing is. It'll tell you. You'll get 10 tickets. However, if you enter the contest, then subscribe, you will not get, or will have no way of getting your extra 9 tickets. So if you want to benefit from the 10 tickets for subscribers, make sure you subscribe before you do the exclamation contest or whatever it is.
It is possible to win with just 1 ticket. 2 weeks ago, the winner of the Carrack kit that was on the giveaway was a 1 ticket holder.
He was a 1 ticket holder. So we're going to start this now. Let it be
Execute. So. Is Execute new here?
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Oh, Flan, you absolute legend. It's just...
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Mine still aren't working for some reason. They worked on the other computer. For this one,
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Yeah, they're not showing up.
Flan, you're an absolute legend. You really, really are.
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Just in case you wanted to subscribe, tough. Flan's done it for you because he's an absolute legend. So I've decided one of the JRDF t-shirts I want to do.
He's got some great friends.
I want to do a JRDF with just legend on the back. And
JR
basically
might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Give those out to our sort of 10 best customers and just general legends.
Might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
They won't be available for sale. We will award them to people and hand out JRDF Legends
JR might
t-shirts.
be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Thank you so much, you crazy, crazy person. Did I even start the giveaway there?
JR might be a dickhead,
but
apparently he's got some great friends.
I did. It was just literally the microsecond before Flan filled the chat with gifted subs because he's a legend.
Got some great friends.
Yes, exclamation
raffle.
Raffle, that's the one. I had to go all the way up to find it. So that's running. It's running for half an hour. And yes, can I dodge?
Yeah.
Don't fucking win it this week. So
I won't enter. I was just typing it, but for you, I will not.
So we bigged up, big giveaway last week to give away a Carrack, incidentally, which Flanather donated because he is just a legend.
Dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
And and he won it. Bad dodge. Bad dodge.
I did voluntarily go for a reroll.
It's all right. Don't worry. It wasn't optional.
Yeah, I agree. Let's Flan with another.
Bad. And someone else turned up. Thank you very much. Yeah, it wasn't optional. It's really funny. We were joking about this the other day. When someone becomes a JRDF team member, the perks for being a JRDF team member are amazing. You don't get to win anything. When you buy a kit, you have to wait longer than anyone else because you get put to the bottom of the fucking pile because you need to get other customers' ones out first. So you wait forever for your fucking models. Honestly, the list of benefits just goes on and on and on. It's like, we just screw you over immensely. It's like, oh, all those things you used to get as a value customer, you don't get them anymore. When you think about customers first, you're an unpaid employee now. You lose all the benefits. And so true.
But yes, if you missed it, if you just happened to miss it in all this commotion, exclamation point raffle in chat, 10 points if you're a subscriber, 1 point if you're not. But if with Flannet ahead, you probably are a subscriber.
Yeah.
And it is a 30-minute countdown timer, so get involved, people.
Get on it. Get on it. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Firemaster. Raffle in chat. One word.
Pick it up. There you go. Boom. Right, 2 more. So these are going to get squirrely. These 2 here, because we already have a magnet here, these are going to get squirrely. So again, it is these want to go in painted side down. Yes. Check. Painted side down. Indeed. Boom. So when you are close to another magnet, I'm not 100% sure what the best strategy is. Speed, I think, is the best strategy, but just be aware when you do it to be extra vigilant of it flipping over really fast. So we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. There we go. That was it. Painless. Do I dare do the other one?
Look how well matched the color of the 3D model is compared to the actual print.
It really is, isn't it? It's not bad. Boom, we did it. We were fine. No one died.
So you have to be assertive in your movements.
Yeah, assertive when there's magnets nearby. Assertive indeed. And don't get me wrong, dude. I will say this. When you come round to do your own model, if you've been as amazing,
might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Spurious ECG, thank you very much for the sub.
Not sub. 6-month subs.
6 months sub. My goodness, thank you so much, you crazy motherfucker. I've done a lot of magnets, so I am very confident with them. If you don't find it as easy as you're watching me do it, that doesn't mean you're an idiot. Do not give up. I've done hundreds of these. God knows how many arrows I built when I was doing those. I've probably put 1,000 magnets in, at least. So, yes, I have got used to it. There is a bit of muscle memory involved in this. Yeah. Don't worry if you find it difficult. It is tricky. Hopefully, watching me do it helps you not make mistakes I used to make that I have got round. And the main way I've got round them is by working out which tools and methodology works the best. Don't use tweezers. We put tweezers, we put plastic tweezers in the Freelancer Max model because at the time that's what I used to put magnets in, and subsequently I've worked out it's the dumbest thing to use, but because they're in the kit we still put them in the kit. Whoa, those magnets look small. They are quite small. These magnets are, there's 2 sizes of magnets on the Carrack, 3mm by 1mm magnets, so 3mm diameter by 1mm thickness. They are neodymium magnets. They're still really strong. These are N52s as well. These are beasts. So yes, they are small, as because we don't want them to be. None of our magnets are ever visible on our kits as well, so you not even have to paint over them or anything. None of them are visible when we're all finished. Right, so we've got 2 more in here to do.
Hello, Nicotine.
Hello, good sir. How are we this evening? Right, so we've got these 2 in. So we've got these 2 in here, at the bottom of the cargo bay, which we're going to put in here. Again, bit of glue.
Laces out again?
Yes.
Yep, blazes out. As in painted side outward.
We're getting braver at this point. I think when you're inserting them onto a flat area like this, and they're this far spaced apart, they're fine. They're not going to attract each other too much. So this is the thing. This is one of these techniques I probably haven't made obvious enough, because again, I've just done so many now. When I approached with the magnet there, I made sure I approached from this side. If I'd approached here and moved my way across, it would have stuck to that one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes.
But you say differently, but it's so easy to go, oh, I'm going to put it in here, and because you're right-handed, you bring your hand in here and sweep in, and it's already attached to that one. And because I just glued that one in, when I come to take that one out, I'll pull both of them out. And then there's just glue everywhere, and I've got two magnets attached to a stick, then I've got to try and peel magnets apart because they're covered in glue, they're now stuck to my fingers. It's like, and that's when this thing all goes fucking horribly wrong. And it's just like, it's just about just boom, boom, just making sure that you're just being really conscious of what you're doing all the time, double checking which way the magnet is, and just being steady with it. So I think that is all of them in this front section now, which is all very exciting. So we do need to get the rear section out. I think that might actually be...
I don't think the rear section has magnets, yeah.
It does. It just has two big magnets for the wings. That's it.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. I was just trying to think if there's any more small magnets. Yes, canopy. Canopy. Yeah. They're the last two. So that means there is 3 spare magnets. 3 spare 3mm magnets in the Carrack kit. It's official.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, to be honest, I'm gonna say something really honest here. You really don't need to put magnets in this canopy, because it's such a tight fit anyway. I've just dropped my Sharpie. Oh, there it is. It's such a tight fit, but it's in the instructions, so we're going to do it. I'm just going to make sure there's no crud in it. Right, so go back to our instructions. Find the canopy. So painted side in.
On both sides, yes.
On both sides. Yes.
What about using a kicker for the glue? What's a kicker?
Kicker like an activator.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Does it work with gels?
Hmm?
Does it work with the gels?
Oh yeah. So the gel, it's just jelly because it's I don't know. The runnier it is, the faster acting it is, and you can get it all the way from like thinner than water, much thinner than water, all the way up to like virtually a paste, and it's all the same chemical with just a different balance of the sort of the mixture. Yeah, so you could so if you wanted to use a kicker, that is definitely an option. You can get liquid kickers for super glue, or say you can use baking powder, also works as a good kicker. And it will, activators make this stuff go off instantaneously. So you need to make sure that you've got one on one side and one on the other.
I've only ever seen Adam Savage use those, and he has like a little tiny spray thingy that looks very useful.
It's
and easy
really,
to apply.
It is really handy. When I've done stuff, I've almost used it as a contact. You sort of turn super glue into a contact adhesive. So you put one on one side, one on the other. Now they're glued. Or you can glue it, put the two together, and then apply the applicator. But obviously, you're just getting it to the outside of the joint. Which, if that's enough, and then you can just put it down, then brilliant. But yeah, if you put one on one side, one on the other, done. And then sometimes, done. Oh damn it! So the sort of thing that you like, never do this. I've seen a fucker do this to someone, and it involved a trip to A&E, which is putting super, because the other kicker that works slightly as a kicker is water. Water will make super glue go off faster, which is why it sticks to your skin. Because if you're in a bar and your hand is sweaty and someone puts fucking super glue on a beer bottle and you pick up that beer bottle, I've seen someone had to go to A&E to have it removed. because their sweat effectively acted as a kicker. And it's a really funny trick. It's really fucking not. They have a beer bottle attached to their hand, and you need to go and have it chemically removed. Yes, it was whilst at uni. It's a very studenty, stupid ass thing to do. The best student prank I have ever heard of, which I do believe is true, because I got it from a reliable source, was there was this absolute dickhead who was a very much a practical joker, lived in dorms on the fourth floor, I think, of this dorm place, and he used to piss his neighbours off all the time, of all students in this sort of student residence. And one night, these people took him out, got him fucking wankered, so he could barely stand, see, speak. Took him back to his apartment, helped him into the elevator, took him up to the fourth floor, got him into bed, and then left him to sleep it off for about 6-7 hours, and then came into his room in balaclavas and threw him out the window. Unbeknownst to him, someone on the ground floor had moved out. They moved his entire flat from the fourth floor down to the ground floor. When they got him into the lift, they took him up to the fourth floor, brought him back to the ground floor, and then put him in his bed on the ground floor. But he was so pissed he didn't notice he wasn't on the fourth floor. And just left him screaming on the grass outside this window.
That is, see, that
it's genius.
That is hilarious.
It's genius.
But going back to the super glue and sticking to your sweat thing,
yes,
that is not accidental, because super glue was in fact its first use was to close up wounds in the battlefield.
Why do you think I stopped bleeding this week? All of these were sealed up by super glue and tape. That's all I use. It generally works. Right, okay, so that's all of the little magnets done. Oh yes, there are emotes, by the way.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I didn't know I had emotes. Flan has all the emotes because he is a tier 3 subscriber. So we have 3 left. So there are spares. So we could have lost 3 of them.
Well, that one doesn't have it.
This is a big magnet. This is a big magnet.
Yeah. You're talking about the small one?
I'm talking about the small ones. So we're now on to... Oh, yes, there are other emotes. See, I did loads of emotes at some point. Who knew? Oh, no, it's when I became affiliate.
Affiliate. Mm-hmm.
So we've already marked one of us. We're on to the big magnets now. So we do need to use the same Carrack stick. And this is the thing. We need these to be the same polarity as the other ones. So we're going to use the Carrack stick to make that happen. So there's one. Which way is this?
This is laces out again.
Laces out. I'll just show the people at home what we're talking about. So it's this magnet here. You might be wondering, what the fuck's this magnet for? Why? Why, JR, have you put both your initials inside this part and this really, really weird extra magnet? I'm going to show you. So this is what we were talking about before about learning. JR learning. This is JR learning. So we're going to put some glue in the bottom. This is obviously a much bigger magnet. This is a 5mm by 2mm neodymium magnet. These are pretty fucking strong magnets, I will be honest. Oh, we've managed to flip it over. Let's try that again. See what happened there? That's because there's a magnet in the end of it.
I can see how at this point a pair of plastic tweezers might be...
No, they're fucking useless!
No. You would think that would be a good idea.
Yes, they're not. Right, so we've obviously fucked this up. We've wiped the pen off, so as not to guess, we're going to put pen back on it. We're then going to try again. There's still glue in it. I'm going to try and put it in by hand, because this is so big. There we go. Right, so I've used my thumb to put it in.
Flesh tweezers.
Flesh tweezers? Captain Squirrel, thank you very much for the tier 2 sub.
He's got some great
friends. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tier 2.
And don't forget to to sign up for the raffle if you haven't already. Oh, I hope you signed up for the raffle before you became a tier 2 sub.
I think he was already a tier 1 sub potentially. I think he might have been in the
barrage, in the Flanatia barrage,
the Flan barrage. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on it. Right, so that's in there. So why have we put that in there? Well, I can show you why we've put it in there without ruining everything. So this is the closed landing gear. So this sits in here, in this hole here. Once it's in there, it's a fucking pain in the ass to get out because it's held in by magnets. So we're going to use the stronger properties of this magnet and the Carrack stick, and all of a sudden we can use this to remove it and put it in because this magnet is stronger than the other magnets. So this is the reason why we've got a big ass magnet in this, is so that this is our way of putting this in and out the model. In and out. In. Damn it! We've been done off Twitch. This is the way of not fucking your paint job up with a knife trying to dig it out. That's something we learnt off the freelancers. You have to be careful with that piece now because it will stick to everything because it's got a big ass magnet in it. What else needs a big ass magnet in it? Well, we need some big ass magnets in the rear section. They go into here. You see all the way in there. This is what holds the wings on. So we need to go back
and
to
the big ones also go into the wings, right?
Yes, the big ones go into the wings as well. So we'll do them on the fuselage first. Blue out. We're almost there, folks. We've almost done all the magnets. And we haven't cried. Not once.
Speak for yourself.
A2 flyover multi-sub bomb. That would be amazing. Oh, do we like the cluster bombs? Oh my god, they looked a bit savage in ISC. I've not actually witnessed a bomb in game yet.
This was in the early days of the bomber being a thing, but it always felt like it despawned right before it was supposed to hit. We tried it, and we tried to have a good view of it, but it just fizzled out. Oh. Maybe they fixed it now.
Sorry, I turned it over and heard a rattling, and I thought the magnet had dropped out, and it was just this inside it rattling. Fucking cargo bay doors. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, we should next JRDF stream. We'll go and do some bombing, just because JR hasn't seen bombs yet.
One of the things that is quite easy to do, actually, is if you're flying at a weird angle, you actually can hit yourself with the bomb.
Yeah, people had that issue in World War II too. Oh no, wait. What are you talking about? How can you hit yourself with a bomb?
because it ejects from the bomber at a certain. It doesn't. So
unless you're flying like Anakin.
No.
Spinning's fun.
Well, they haven't implemented projectiles detaching from your ship to inherit the velocity or the momentum.
Right. Okay.
So they basically just set off from a stationary point in space.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you actually then move into the trajectory of the bomb while you're dropping the bomb.
Yeah.
You're hitting yourself with it. Stop hitting yourself. Yeah. Stop hitting yourself.
God, that would be the most annoying thing to hear coming over the radio when you were killing yourself with a bomb, wouldn't it? So I've got too many wings in this box. It's a thing. I just need to make sure I've got the right ones. There we go. So the last thing to put the magnets in, and we have finished with the easy ones. I do think the big magnets are the easiest ones in this kit anyway, are the wings. Why are there 4 wings? And why are you calling them wings? Because they're not. They're shields or whatever it is.
Well, a wing doesn't inherently mean it's providing lift.
No.
Because buildings have wings, and they don't fly.
That's very true. I see your point. Buffaloes have wings. They're shit at flying.
That's true. That's true as well.
Or they're like bumblebees. No, I think buffaloes fly just because they've got so fucking many of them. I mean, you see like the racks, they must have like thousands of them. I assume
So
that's how
it's like the caterpillar with legs.
Yeah,
Landing
basically,
gear.
that's how buffaloes work. Can you tell we don't have buffaloes in the UK? Because all I know about it are all the stories I hear from American television. I've pieced together the animal
those are
from
not
there.
buffalo at all. Anyway, so they're bison.
Yeah. I've pieced together my image of what the buffalo is entirely from American television and menus.
And it's wrong on so many levels.
Oh, they're extinct now. Oh,
well,
right.
no. There's the water buffalo is still very prevalent in Europe. So if you want,
no, Dosh. It's not in America. It's extinct. Shush now.
Oh,
right.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I agree.
There's nothing outside. It's just weird television. Right. So we've got our forewings. You could tell the stream's been going too long at this point. Yes, laces
and there's
in.
not even any alcohol involved, like there usually is.
I know.
Who needs alcohol to have fun?
Right, so I'm going to put...
I'm looking. Know by heart when this is. Yes. Laces in. In.
So blue in. Boop. Put this a long way away from the other ones. These magnets are so fucking strong. Boop, 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 boop. Oh. Just clean off the glue. Nope. So, I'll say...
When all my tools arrive, I'm going to have to do a stream of building my own Carrack. Or several streams, I suppose, yes.
Yeah, I'd say...
And the Saturn V that you so kindly printed the wall mounts for me.
Oh, the wall mounts for, yes. I want to see those.
Ooh, yeah. Actually.
Okay, we're ready, guys. This is the last magnet, boys and girls. The final magnet on the Carrack is in place. So, we have got left 2 of the 5mm magnets and 3 of the 3mm magnets. So, there are 55 magnets.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, they're still on the little supports. Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah. No, well, I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for the little clipper thingies for the flush cutters to arrive and a scalpel. I need to go. I actually go out to a shop and buy a scalpel. Because ordering one from Amazon might be a bit weird because it's a different country anyway. But yeah, so these are they hook on around the fuselage of each section. So they're different of each section of the Saturn V Lego kit. This is a tiny one for the Apollo module, and because I want to have it like on my wall, like
I mount Lego on my wall as well. It's I mount Lego on my wall as well. It's the best place to put it.
Yeah.
You can't break it.
I also have the ISS on a box sitting on the box of the Saturn V one.
Sweet. So yes, it's a lot of magnets. We've magneted a lot. It's all good. I'm not even going to test to see if they're right. I know they're all right. And if I test them,
because
I'll
you followed the instructions.
I followed the instructions.
Like a good boy.
So that's cool. So that's taken us a couple of hours. As I say, and this goes back to the question we get asked a lot. Oh, it's a kit model. Why don't you put it together? Because it takes about 5 hours to put one of these models together well, and I don't want to have to charge you for that. And it's a kit model. Enjoy building it.
Yeah.
And my Lego Batman tumbler will not fit on the wall. Nice. That thing's huge.
Not with that attitude, it won't.
Not with that attitude.
I think I've seen it actually drive on a wall in the movie at one point. So I mean, oh no, that's the Burton one where it goes.
Yes, yeah. We don't talk about the other Batman. We don't talk about any Batman films now. Yeah.
The new ones looks to be exciting.
Oh, there's so many Batman films. How many times can you reboot the same thing without, you know?
This doesn't look like it's going to be a reboot of a franchise. Just like the Joker movie, it's going to just stand on its own.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably more acceptable.
But they're also making a new one where the old guy from the Burton movies coming back as an old Batman, and Nightwing is gonna take on his mantle as protector of Gotham City as the new Batman.
Oh, okay.
It's actually the actor Keaton is coming back as old Batman. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. So
cool.
They're exploring interesting ideas, and I like that instead of just rebooting everything.
Interesting ideas mean copying Marvel. Oh, they've got actors from other films. Oh, well, we'll do a multiverse, and then they can all come back.
Yeah.
So we've got 1 minute 20 seconds of the giveaway still to go.
Yeah, raffle, exclamation point, raffle chat if you're new and you haven't entered yet.
And you don't work for JRDF.
Like
if
so.
Fucking Drew wins this.
Something just as a bit of housekeeping. Wyborg is trying to enter and the bot has not announced that he got any tickets in. So can you just check whether Wyborg has entered?
Wyborg is indeed on my list.
Excellent.
With 10 tickets. Yes.
Got your back, Wyborg.
You do. Yeah. 30 seconds to go. Raffle! If only there was a button to kick people out of the raffle. Stop it!
Yeah, I know Miguel got a sub-gift after entering.
Oh no. Oh my goodness.
It would be possible to do, like if to have the bot be smart enough to pay attention to that, but we are not qualified to do that.
We might. I mean, to be honest, I still use Streamlabs, Stream Elements, whatever the hell this is for. If people have, like, genuinely, if people have a better suggestion for a raffle bit of software, I am not in any way tied to this piece of software. As long as I like to reward people for subbing, but I know there are better bits of software that do it. Okay, so we're going to pick a winner. Drum roll, please. Well, wouldn't you know? What do you know? Well, congratulations, Wyborg. Congratulations, indeed. If you can ping me on Discord, we have a conversation open somewhere. Your address or a old order number or anything like that. So an old order number works quite well because then we can look it up on our Shopify backend to send stuff to you so we can find your address and everything. That would be amazing. Thank you very much. And we'll get that in the post to you ASAP. And enjoy your art. We will try and do more giveaways. I do want
exactly.
To do...
If you're watching this on YouTube, why didn't you come hang out in chat while we were live Sunday 6 p.m. UTC on Twitch?
What
come around.
Said?
Yes, come around. Yeah. Take part in the giveaway. Maybe you'll win something cool. 2 weeks ago, a Carrack kit model kit. Wait, yeah. I still don't know which way around it is. that got given away.
Exactly, and and we will try and find some cool things to give away. We tend to have cool things that we can give away, just because we go to events, we pick shit up at events. We did loads of giveaways before CitizenCon, loads of old CitizenCon merch that you can't get anymore because it was from like loads of CitizenCons of the past. We have stuff like that. We will give away what we can. I still really hope that I can get permission to give away our sort of reject parts, kit model parts to do dioramas and stuff with, because that'll be a cool thing to give away. I do promise we are getting all the new artwork that you can buy JRX. You spend your JRX on as well. That's being a pain in the ass to get through, but hey, we will get that through as soon as we can, so we'll be able to give some more JRX away. I'm not giving them away at the moment because nothing for you guys to spend on. So yeah, we will be doing giveaways, and we might just give away some artwork when the new artwork comes out. We'll probably give away a load of artwork. I'll try and get some of it signed. One of the advantages at the moment, for no particular reason, I am going up and down to Manchester quite a lot and seeing people that work for a company that we're all interested in. So I will force them to sign things while I'm there. Because like, sign this. So yeah, we're working with quite a lot of them at the moment, so we'll get some scribbles on things because we can, and we shall take advantage of that on your behalf and get some cool things signed for you. Cool, right? So we should probably.
So when are we coming back for a part 3 of this build?
2 weeks time.
In 2 weeks time.
I really want to do a workshop stream next week.
Okay, cool.
Because it's been ages since I've been in the workshop, and we've got internet now.
Fantastic. In the meantime, if you want to keep tabs on what we're up to, sign up to the newsletter. Go to jrfabrication.co.uk/newsletter, and you will get an email maybe once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, with sort of at the beginning of the week, definitely, sort of plans that we have and what we've been up to. That is the most, I would say, reliable way of keeping tabs with what we're up to.
Yes.
We do also announce it on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, but you know how it is, timelines flying by, it's easy to miss. So, yeah.
Indeed, yes, I should put that up because the workshop's cool now. The workshop's getting better and better every day.
And that's what's happening next week.
Exactly. We should be back. We'll be in the shop. I shall. We can drive the forklift around for a bit. You go, look, it's a forklift.
You need to put the camera on it. Yes, put a phone on it, and then you can do. Yeah.
Yes, well, we could totally do. We could totally do forklift cam. Am I brave enough to do complex forklifting on stream? Yeah, probably.
You have 2 weeks of practice. A week.
That's fine. I've not fucked it up yet. Putting those 3 pallets on the top there, there is literally an inch to spare on that top shelf. Thank God this thing has side shift. That's all I can say. The last forklift I played around with at my old gaff did not have side shift. Oh my God, it was a ball ache. Side shift is amazing. I don't know how.
Do you have to eyeball everything, or do you have some sort of? Probably don't have like sensors or cameras that would help you.
This thing was built in '97.
I see.
Forklifts are pretty basic machines anyway. But yes, no, you just eyeball everything. But yeah, having side shift means you've got about, I think, nearly a foot of play on this one, left to right, which is great.
I once drove one of those forklifts, they have the sort of like barrel wheels, like 9 barrels on each side that actually can move sideways.
I'd love to have a go at one of those. They look amazing.
With those, you don't need side shift on the forks because you can actually move the entire forklift.
Crab them, like properly, like full crab them.
Yeah, because left side go forward, right side go backwards, and then because the barrels that are like 45 degrees, they also spin in the other way, and you basically can just
they are so clever. It's just like I've watched a couple of videos on those because I was trying to find one because I really wanted one, mainly because like they're so cool. They are a fucking fortune.
It was featured in the 2009, speaking of reboots, 2009 Star Trek J.J. Abrams reboot movie. Just it was like for a couple of seconds.
Mythbusters had one as well. They're very mainly because their building's so narrow. It's so useful for narrow buildings because you can crab all the way down a building with one, while facing the racking. They are really, really handy. They are an absolute fortune. Cheapest one I could find was 30-odd grand. And yeah, cool technology there.
Wow.
Really cool. One of the cool it's because they independently have 4 motors, whereas most forklifts only have 1.
Yeah.
You have 1 drive motor for your front axles. I mean, I don't actually know if mine's 4-wheel drive or not. I think it might be. I don't know. But anyway, even if they usually just have 1 big drive motor, they obviously have to have 4. One of the cool things the Rivian truck can do, apparently, is one of its party tricks, is because it has 4 independent motors, it'll do on-the-spot turning. Actually,
I've seen
turning.
that in a Jeep Tornado, was it called? It front wheels did toe in, rear wheels did toe out, and it would just spin around.
So the Rivian just like skid steers it, so it just tank steers.
Oh, right.
So it suggests you don't do it on tarmac. It's like you'll just shred your tires a little bit. But
I've done that with my car, and it's only just a regular 4-wheel drive Audi. It just needs a lot of torque and a slippery surface, and you can just go.
Well, no. But it's doing left-hand side is going forward, right-hand side is going back.
Oh, it's tanking things.
Yeah, it's like tank turns.
Okay.
Like they say, because it's not like crab steering the wheels. Because like cranes can do that. The cranes we used to use as engineering, you could actually turn the wheels inward, front and back, and turn on the spot with them. Because again, every wheel, not every axle, had its own drive. So you could do all sorts of tricks with those. But yeah, apparently the Rivian can do it as well. Not, I assume, while driving down the road. That would be. I hope it just isn't on the shifter. It's like, drive, neutral, scary turning, reverse. That would be.
That's what S is for.
Yeah, it's not sport. It's shit yourself because you just did that.
But speaking of forklifts, something I learned recently is at least 75% of sheep in Scotland are not forklift certified.
Did you realise that? Neither am I
That is
anymore.
a fact. That is a fact I learned on the internet.
I'm not forklift certified anymore either, because I haven't had a forklift or worked for a company with a forklift in quite a few years, so mine has lapsed. So I should probably go and get that renewed.
So it's a slightly more proper than car licenses that last forever.
Yeah, and so the interesting thing, I don't know what it's like in other countries. Probably America is very different. It's not a legal requirement to be qualified to use any plant equipment in the UK. It's not
just if something goes wrong.
Well, basically, an insurance company will not pay out to a building site if an unqualified person was using a piece of plant equipment. So it really comes down to the insurance. And I suppose technically somewhere in the legislation you're not allowed to carry out uninsured work and all that kind of stuff. So, but there's no actual directly legal requirement. So at the moment, it's like all I can do is knock my own building down, I guess. But yeah, forklifts are quite scary. But I would never do anything. I never think stupid with a forklift. I've probably done stupid things with a forklift before. Probably the stupidest things you ever do with the forklift is lifting things that are too heavy for the forklift.
Like another forklift.
Well, no, that's fine. As long as we used to load our electric forklift onto trucks with our other forklift because it could lift it. As long as it's within the weight, as long as someone isn't sitting on it driving it at the time, it's fine. How do you think you get forklifts on trucks? It's fine. But as long as even cranes, this is that always blew my mind where we had the 220-ton crane. It had lifting eyes on it because other cranes could pick it up. It's like, holy shit. It's like, how do you think we get it off the boat? It's like, good point. It's just like, at some point there is a crane that is just too big. Those Dockland cranes lift 500-ton cranes off ships.
How do you lift those cranes, though?
They're on the dock. They were built in place. There is a fantastic, genuine video of a 4-crane pileup of a crane way too small trying to lift a narrowboat out of a canal, and it's just not big enough and just falls into the canal. So they have to bring another crane in to pick the first crane up, and it parks on the wooden wharf, and the wharf just collapses underneath it, and it ends up in the water, and then they have to get a bigger crane to come, and it's sitting there, and it sinks in the mud. And it goes down. It's like a genuine video of they need another crane to rescue all this out. And we had ones not anywhere near as stupid near us. We have a lot of wind farms up near us, and there was wind farms being built on peat land, sort of peat bogs. And one day, one of the drivers wanted to get home a couple of hours early. So there was a temporary roadway between the concrete pads from the wind turbine they just put up and the next wind turbine they were doing the next day. And obviously cranes drive, when you see a crane driving on the road, it doesn't have any weights on it on the back, because the weights on a crane weigh more than the crane do, and that's what allows it to pick up its biggest loads. And obviously when doing these wind turbines, it had all its weights on. So to move from one pad to the other, what they were supposed to do is take all the weights off, which is about a 2-hour process, drive it to the next one, use lorries to bring the weights because it's taken. The cranes are amazing because they can load their own weights, which is really fantastically cool to watch. But they can offload their own weights and then put them on a truck. And he said, I'll be fine. There's a temporary roadway. We'll just go slow. And he just fell straight through it and sank in the peat bog. And the problem with it was this was a 670-ton crane from Norway. And the only thing they could get to lift it out was another crane from Norway. So they had to bring another one. The company had to bring over another of their cranes in pieces, build it on site. But the crazy thing is they had to pour a new concrete pad for this crane to sit on, because it had sunk, this other one had sunk halfway between these two concrete pads. So there was nothing they could sit this crane on. Even with the biggest spreader plates in the world, they had to literally dig another foundation, lay a concrete plinth to put this crane on to lift this other crane out of the dirt. And it's just like, because
a driver wanted to save 4 hours.
Yes, it took 9 months to get the crane out. Now,
wow.
The thing is though, it was the crane operator from this company, some Norwegian company, who'd done it. So what actually happened was this company sent that second crane over to carry on with the work, and they just had to slowly rescue this crane. They had to take it apart and lift each bit out of it. It's just like 9 months it sat in the mud, in various bits of pieces, trying to, I imagine he was fired. He kind of really has like, cranes be crazy. The crane company we used to use was a company called Lee Lifting, based down in London, and they were amazing. So Lee Lifting do all the stunts for a lot of film work. They did all the Star Wars stuff, they did all the James Bond stuff, and they used to do all the Top Gear stunts, because their actual yard was on the old Top Gear track. So whenever you saw Top Gear stunts and stuff, so when they pulled Hammond up that dam in that Land Rover, it's a green Lee Lifting crane on the top that they used for that and all that kind of stuff. And that's who we used to use for Dinner in the Sky when we used to do that job. And some of the stuff they'd done was crazy. And the best video they ever sent of us was of Gil, who was the guy who used to drive our 220 for doing Dinner in the Sky, having to drive his crane onto a barge on the Thames down in London. And it's the funniest video I've ever seen, because I knew the guy, and he's driving down. Lee, who owned the company, took the video, and you can hear him laughing his ass off all the way through this video, because this 220-ton crane is coming down this ramp, and the barge, obviously a huge barge, hard tethered to the bottom of this slipway. And the front wheel, it was an 8-axle crane, and the front axle hits the ramp. And nothing really happens. It starts picking up, because obviously the ramps like that and the barge is flat in the water. And the further he gets on, he starts picking his middle axles up, fine. But then the barge just starts sinking as the weight of the crane gets on it. So once the crane's halfway on it, the crane now has all its axles on the floor, but the other end of the barge is in the water. And Gil just has to drive and down this slope into the water to the point where the water is nearly lapping halfway up his cab window before the barge actually tilts back up again. Because the barge was only the length of the crane. It was much wider, but it was only as long as it. And just like, Gil just thought he was just driving a crane into the Thames. It just like, you could hear him on the radio, he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And Lee's like, yeah, you'll be fine, mate, you'll be fine. It was so funny. And then when it's all done, it's like, you should have reversed on, shouldn't you? And it's like, you bastard. Just like, so good. So good. I posted a link to this video. Unfortunately, it was a video that I watched on Lee's phone. I don't think he ever uploaded it to the internet. He was a simple man. He was just taking the thing was, for a crane company, all they used to send us was these crazy crane videos of people dying with cranes or like causing huge accidents with cranes. It's like, really, thanks crane company for sending that. This one is on YouTube if you look for it, is someone trying to pick a crane up with by its legs. So obviously cranes have big outriggers, and you'd think the most logical place to pick a crane up by when you're putting it on or off a ship would be by the legs, because when it's up on its legs, all the weight of the crane sits on those legs. So you think, well, they must be able to take the weight of the crane. Apparently this is not where you pick a crane up from, because they'd lashed it with chains underneath, picked it up, and just pulled the legs out off one side, so the whole crane does a 180 and lands on its roof on the wall. But it's phenomenal because the YouTube video does it in shows it in slow motion. It's like the very penultimate or last episode of Battlestar Galactica. You can see the crane break its back as it hits the floor because it flexes. And you can just say, oh, that's got cracks all the way down it now. That is fucked. And it's like, it was a brand new crane as well that were taking off a boat. And I said they picked it up by the legs and just pulled the legs out one side of it.
I guess that's why they have lifting eyes.
Yeah, and when you think about it, you go, oh yeah, because the only thing that's actually holding those legs in is the fact it's a hydraulic cylinder. So it's only got its end caps in the cylinder that's stopping it from coming out, which, yes, okay, can take the pressure of whatever that hydraulic cylinder is rated to, but that hydraulic cylinder isn't picking up the crane, it's just extending the legs. So it's not actually going to have that. At no point in the crane's operation is anything pulling the leg off it. So it doesn't need to have that seal. Isn't that strong until you try and pick it up by them. Rip them clean out. It's funny. I mean, really expensive. When I think the Kato cranes that we used to hire were £4 million each.
And you complain about the price of magnets in a Carrack.
Never had to buy a crane. I've had to hire them a few times. I mean, Christ, that crane used to cost us £7,000 a day to hire.
The biggest crane we ever hired was when we were doing an installation of one of those screening machines in Germany. So it was like a 12-ton steel box, basically, that goes on top of a tower, 40 meters up high. And in the end, the driver, we found out, was just one of ours. He was from Slovenia. He moved into Germany because he could earn more money, and then just like halfway through the job, he realized where we're from, and just started conversing in Slovenia. We were best pals, and then all the German co-workers around us was like, "What the hell are these guys talking about?" Like,
do we trust this guy in this crane? They're talking. They're going, "Oh, we're going to fuck their building up." The coolest thing with cranes is that you can remote control them. And it's just so cool, because like when we used to do dinner in the sky, Gil would like, I want to go on the table. It's like, Gil, you can't. You're the crane driver. It's like, watch me. And he would bring his remote control, sit on the table, and drive the crane from up on the table. It's like freaky as hell. It's like really cool. I wasn't allowed on the table because I was the rescue driver. So it's like, you're not allowed on the table, but the crane driver is? That's not fair. That's just wrong.
Well, you never got a replacement for yourself just so you could enjoy one of the nights.
I'd been up enough. If me and Ian were there, or it depended, because sometimes me or Ian or both would be rescue driver with a massive cherry picker. But if we had the room, it was actually much better to have a second crane. So occasionally we would have a second crane parked over there somewhere. I mean, the rescue solution, you never really wanted to look too obvious. You didn't want to write, this is just in case our crane breaks, we brought a spare one, because that doesn't, infuse people with confidence. But another crane was always the easiest way of saving everybody. But yeah, we actually came up with a better solution in the end, which was the table could save itself in the end.
Parachutes.
7-ton table.
Big parachute.
Oh, I didn't have time to open it. I only had 130. Crunch. No, the biggest issue was always if the crane caught fire.
Did the crane ever catch fire, though?
No, God, no. What kind of gypsy organisation do you think we worked for? It's like, oh yeah, the crates catch fire all the time. It's fine. No, and it had its own fire suppression systems on it. It was amazing. But obviously there was like 300 litres of hydraulic fluid in it. So if it did ever catch fire, it was really problematic. And obviously if it catches fire, the driver gets out. So now you can't release it and you can't bring the thing down, and usually that isn't a problem because everyone would evacuate the building site and the fire brigade would be called and it was fine. But we were holding 27 people in the air on the table by the hook, so you can't just leave the people to watch the crane slowly burn until it burns through the hydraulic lines and the arm just goes boom onto the floor, because that would be bad. Because that's what would happen eventually. The cable wouldn't go, the whole arm would drop. Because eventually it would burn through one of the hydraulic lines that was onto its main boom hydraulic. So
just
that
lose
was
all pressure.
yeah. So that was the worst case scenario. Was the crane catching fire. And the problem is when we were rescuing people with the cherry picker, it took us about 20 minutes per person to get them off. So you do the math, that not good. The second crane was quite cool because someone would hold on to the hook of the second crane, go up with the hook, attach it to the table, then unhook the other crane hook, which sounds really easy, except the hook weighs 2 tons. So they're quite big things to manhandle once you're up there, which was insane.
What you need is a forklift.
130-foot high forklift. No, what we actually eventually did was...
I'm just referring back to you not wanting to manhandle 4 tons of wood. That's why I got a forklift.
The way that we hung the table was the crane actually held on to the roof, and then the table was suspended from the roof by 4 points. And each point, obviously, because you have lots and lots of safety involved, 2 wires on each corner. Each wire could hold twice the weight of the table. So it was 16 times more than it needed to be, which is usual when people's lives are in danger. So what we did was we took off one of the 4 off each corner and replaced it with chain hoists. So what could happen if the crane did break, you could bring the chain hoist up to take the slack off the 4 steel cables, detach the 4 steel cables, then the whole table could be lowered from the roof all the way down to the floor on the chain hoists. The only issue with it was you had these massive bags of chains underneath it to hold all the chain. But we just made that happen and then we knew within 5-10 minutes we could get everyone down on the floor
instead of 9 hours. I did the math.
Yeah, and the other issue with saving people one at a time was you had to persuade them to take off their safety harness and jump into a basket. That was quite a far way below you because we weren't allowed to get within 1.5 meters of the table, because the table weighed 7 ton and was swinging from a crane, so it moved quite a bit. You didn't really feel it when you were on it, but it was when you got near it with a cherry picker you realized it was actually swinging by about 1 meter.
So who thought all of this was a good idea?
A Belgian company who made the tables. I mean, they were very
fucking
there
Belgians.
was never there were 54 tables in the world, around the world, and there was never an accident on any of them. I mean, it's one of the things. There was so many layers of safety on them that...
And just like you today, they read the instructions and didn't get anything wrong.
Exactly. And, we took it... The most dangerous thing about it, by far, was not being on the table, it was standing underneath it. It was the only site in the world that I would literally yell and kick people off if I saw them not wearing a hard hat. Because I got hit in the head by a fork once. A fork from 130 feet. Yeah. iPhones, lots of them plopped onto the ground. Keys. I mean, we did ask everyone to take their wallets and things out, either leave them down the ground if they wanted. Obviously, we wanted people to take their phones because we wanted lots of selfies on it. Take your phone out and put it on the table in front of you so it's not in your pocket, because shit falls out of your pocket.
But also what you should have done, all the cutlery should have the little chains that you get on pens and banks.
Yeah, Michelin star restaurants don't like doing that.
But Michelin star restaurants don't mind if a fork falls down and embeds itself in someone's head?
Gordon Ramsay didn't care. That was the one where I got hit in the head. He didn't give a fuck. I don't think he noticed, to be honest. We didn't exactly shout about it. Magnets! Just a big electromagnet on the bottom. Would have been amazing. No, see, it was good. It was a good fun.
Too bad neither silver nor stainless steel used for cutlery is magnetic.
Sorry, Ramsey, you've got to use steel forks. There you go. It was really funny actually talking to the chefs, because it was like, you need to replan your menu. It's like, take this, do better. Because it's like, when you eat things, you lean over your plate.
Yes.
When you're strapped with a 5-point racing harness to a racing bucket seat, you can't lean forward. So try and eat your next meal strapped to your chair, and then try and eat it. And it's like, that's fine, except I can't remember which chef it was. It's like, we're doing a soup starter. No, you fucking not. Do not do soup at 130 feet when people have to eat it at arm's length. That's just
silly straws.
To be honest,
exactly. It just meanders all around the table and then goes into it.
To be honest, it was a really stupid thing to eat food on. As a bar, it was amazing. There was the Australian company that owned 2 tables, I think they had in the end. They got it spot on. So they did a long, I think a 3-year campaign with Bundesberg rum. And they converted their table. We all converted our tables to do different things, but they had the bar down the middle. They took all the seats off it, and they put 3 sofas facing outwards on one side and ballast the other side. So they would hang it above Aussie rules football games, rugby games, all this sort of stuff, and there would be winners. You didn't pay to go on it. The people who won a contest to basically sit in the Bundesberg rum bar in the sky, and they were just being handed endless rum over their shoulders while they were sitting on sofas facing outwards over the crowd. It was like, that is what you should use these tables for. They were absolutely amazing. But yeah, some people try to use them for really dumb things, like really long meals. It's like, it's fine if it's a really still day in a hot country, but in Glasgow on a windy day, it is not somewhere you want to eat food. It's somewhere you want to go and chat and drink and all that kind of stuff. The only exception I would make, and this is what because we'd had people that would ask, oh, is it worth it? Is it worth the money? Because it was like, to go and eat on it was like £500-600 a head to go and eat on it. I don't actually know how much Michelin star chefs charge anyway. Like, we had Jamie Oliver on it when we did one of the London gigs for a week, and I don't know how much it costs to go and eat in Jamie's restaurants. But if you're a foodie and a fan of that chef, then that is the best price you'll ever pay in your life. Because if you go to Jamie Oliver's restaurant, will you see Jamie Oliver? Or Gordon Ramsay?
Probably not, no.
They were stuck with you for 3 hours on the table. They couldn't get off.
You could be the most annoying fan in the world, and they couldn't even reach over and slap you.
Yeah, I mean, they literally can't get away from you, and there's only you and 24 other people. So you get to talk to these people for that amount of time. So just for that, it's probably worth it if you're a big fan of that person. Yeah.
Right. Shall we wrap up?
Yeah, we'll wrap up. Sounds good. I should probably refresh the raid list because it may have changed.
Probably has, yes.
Is Astro actually doing it? Yes, he is there. We'll do Astro. Excellent. Thank you all for joining and listening to us to waffle on. At some point, I'll tell you the best stories I have at Dinner in the Sky. There were some quite good. We had Dave Grohl on the table once.
I think we could just end of these streams with a bit of story time.
Yes,
why not?
Story time of stupid gigs I've done. Yeah, it was quite a cool table. I'll try to dig out some photos and videos. Right, and we shall see you all next time in the workshop.
Yeah.
Can't wait. We'll build something fun. Bye bye.